Pennsylvania, Princeton University, Yale University, and this is the Ivy League football game of the week. This week, Columbia meets Pennsylvania at Franklin Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ivy League football is brought to you by The Travelers, people responsive to people with insurance and financial service needs. The Travelers, where fairness is good business. GTE, a leader in advanced telecommunications, electronics, lighting, and many other industries around the world.
Historic Franklin Field on the campus of the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. This, the 64th meeting between the University of Pennsylvania and Columbia, but Penn with the overwhelming edge in the series, 45-17-1. More importantly for Ivy League fans in this 1984 season, Penn comes in with the 2-0 record. They are the defending co-champions of the Ivy League. Columbia is still looking to turn it around, get it started. They come in here 0-2. They have that one league loss against Harvard, that game you saw here on the Ivy League Game of the Week to open up this season. On the other hand, Penn just rolled all over Dartmouth, and then in their second game, a little bit lethargic last week against Davidson, but did come out with the win. We're going to see some exciting ball players on both sides of the field this afternoon, and of course, to bring us up to date and what to look for, my colleague Upton Bell.
Thank you, Dick, very much. And what to look for actually is the Penn swarming defense. Really, I think the best defense in the league, led by number 22 Timmy Chambers, the All-American, the defensive backfield. Also their linebacker, number 95 Kevin Bradley, who really blitzes on every play. Their overall defense against Columbia will be very, very difficult to run against. The only chance I see for Columbia is Henry Santos to get the ball to tight end number 85 Dan Upperco. Whether they can do that with Penn's blitzing, swarming defense, I really don't know. But look on the other side of the field, and you look at Penn's offense. They're as complex and as multiple on offense as they are on defense. One of the interesting things about the Penn offense is that McGee and the quarterback will set up everything by throwing on first down 50% of the time. Most college teams run on first down. They throw to set up the run. So Penn is going to be very, very strong. I think that Columbia will find it difficult to move the football offensively, and defensively, can they stop the passing and running at Penn?
Not too many people stop Penn on this turf at Franklin Field. Since Jerry Burnt arrived here, they have not lost an Ivy League game on this field since 1981. That dates back to a Harvard game in that season. And so we have our third colleague on the Ivy League Game of the Week telecast with us, and of course he's down on the sidelines, Sean McDonough.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Another beautiful day for the third straight Saturday on our Ivy League football game of the week. Bright sunshine. Wind once again this week will be a factor. A swirling wind blowing around Franklin Field. That will affect the passing game as well as the kicking game. Back to the sunshine for a moment. Watch out for receivers having trouble catching the ball as they look back into the sun. It is very bright. The sun comes right over the stands here on the near side of the field as we look down on it, and it will indeed be a factor. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, Sean McDonough, and of course, as Upton Bell pointed out, we'll be looking at the Columbia attack this afternoon, and you look right away for number 15 on that Columbia side in the white uniform today. That's Henry Santos, who was a free safety, but their quarterback now. They make no bones about the fact that when the going gets tough, the man they look for also is number 85 Dan Upperco, the All-Ivy League tight end, and that is the feature of their attack. They just like it, and here you see it on that 65-yard touchdown pass play against Harvard in the opening game of the season. The man who sits back there all by himself in the backfield, number 32 for Columbia, Darrell Mitchell, and he is the key ground gainer for them, their rusher, but he also does a lot of receiving for them. And going into this game today, he has one touchdown on the ground and one touchdown in the air. And this is the touchdown on the ground for Darrell Mitchell, this coming against Harvard. And then the University of Pennsylvania attack, Upton Bell pointed out before on both sides of the ball what to look for, and you'll see now some of those highlights.
Penn really has a potent attack led by their quarterback John McGee, and in this passing combination to the All-Ivy tight end. Fine catch here by Lal Hennigan. Offense really moves the football. Also, Steve Ortman, you'll watch him on kickoff returns. He's their tailback, but also one of the better kickoff return men in the Ivy League. He has speed, as you can see, can get to the outside. Defensively, number 22, Timmy Chambers, All-Ivy, All-American, intercepts a pass here and returns it back. Beautiful return by him. He's the man to really watch on this swarming defense. 22, Timmy Chambers.
The University of Pennsylvania marching band just completing our national anthem here as the prelude to the University of Pennsylvania Columbia football game here at Franklin Field in Philadelphia. Columbia takes the field first in the white road uniforms, and of course Pennsylvania right behind them. And the head coach of Columbia University, Bob Naso, in his 5th season, we asked him during the workout, is he disappointed by any chance in any of his players?
We haven't had any major disappointments. We've been pleased with the progress of Henry Santos, our quarterback. Danny Upperco has given us a super effort in our first 2 football games.
Give us, if you would, a scouting report on Penn.
They're a very well-balanced football team. They're balanced on offense. They're balanced on defense. They do an excellent job with their special teams, and they're also very balanced personnel-wise, and I think that's why they're having such success.
Columbia down on the sidelines, and the University of Pennsylvania has now taken the field as they ran through their gauntlet. Have the cheerleaders and the band and their crowd, of course, on the home side standing and cheering this 2-0 football team as we get ready for the coin toss. And you look at the standings in this 3rd week of play in the Ivy League. You see Penn and Princeton right up there at the top with overall records of 2-0. But in the Ivy League standings, you have Penn, Princeton, Brown, Harvard, and those are the teams that are sharing first place right now with 1 victory in league play. Columbia, Dartmouth, Cornell, and Yale make up the balance of the league. And, of course, everybody playing the only other league game today would be Brown and Princeton, and the rest are playing non-league opponents this afternoon.
Yeah, it's funny how the records, even this early in the season, when you look at Princeton and Harvard and Penn, you'd say they're probably the 3 strongest teams.
Hennigan on this side and Captain Bradley on that side. Gentlemen, shake hands, please.
Referee Joseph Shirk introducing the captains. Umpire John Collins, the head linesman John Schreier, the line judges Robert Smith, the
on the
field
left
judge
is your line judge.
Back judge
Mr.
Charles Phillips
is your back judge. Mr. Schreier is your linesman, and Mr. Gibbons is your field judge. Mr. Collins right here is our umpire. Gentlemen, the clock is official. The field clock operator is over here. That clock up there is official. Gentlemen, my name is Shirk. I'm your referee explaining options, administering penalties, anything we don't understand. Let's go over till we do. On team positions here, I'll be available to tell you what's going on the field. All right, Pennsylvania's home. Columbia is the visiting team. Who will call the coin? Okay, that is a head, that is a tail. Call it in the air. If I drop it, I'll play it from the ground. Call it. He calls a head. Head as it is, tail's on the other side. You may have your choice in the first or second half. Which half will you have it? Or you want it in the first half, okay? They want the ball, you will defend this goal. Columbia's choice. Columbia has the option, will receive. Penn will defend this goal. Gentlemen, have a good ball game.
And our officials for today's ball game. The multiple offense of the University of Pennsylvania. Head coach Jerry Burnt talks about it.
I think the key ingredient we have in our offense is John McGee, our quarterback. He really makes us go. He's a very versatile athlete, throws the ball very well with his feet planted, throws the ball very well on the run. We have some excellent receivers. We do like to mix the pass and the run up equally well. You're liable to see us throw the ball 30 times a day. I think our 2 tailbacks are both Rich Camizio, our leading rusher right now, and Steve Ortman, our starting tailback, I might add. Must carry the ball about 30 times. Our offensive line is not quite as mobile as previous lines, but they're a little bigger. So we'd like to think that offensively we're going to control the game a little bit today.
We're getting ready for the opening kickoff. That'll be Murphy kicking off for the University of Pennsylvania, number 1. The deep men for Columbia back there, Jimmy Henderson and John Pennywell, number 20 and 24. The opening kick of the game, Pennywell at the 5. 10, 15, 20. Pennywell across the 20 to the 21. And that's where Columbia will put the ball in play for the first time offensively this afternoon. There you see the offensive line for the Columbia Lions. Milam, Chase, Strack, Blaisted, Genova, Barrero, Upperco. The backfield, Francisconi had split in. Garrett, the flanker, the tailback, Darrell Mitchell, the quarterback, Henry Santos.
Well, we're going to find out early, and people are going to be able to see early there's really good defense of Penn and see if Columbia can all move the ball.
Of course, you all recognize the artificial surface here at Franklin Field. A fumble on the first play, but it's Santos back there to cover it. On the other side of the ball for the University of Pennsylvania defensively, defensive end Steve Pisano, the nose tackle Joe Lorenz, the defensive tackle Gilmore, and McFadden, the defensive end. Also the outside linebacker Gallagher, Bradley, Walker, and O'Connor complete the linebackers. In the backfield, Hewlett, Chambers, and Armstrong. Second down and 14 for Columbia. Split wide, I formation. Darrell Mitchell up to the 20-yard line. Hits in the middle there right away, and Jerry McFadden, the defensive right end, comes over for the University of Pennsylvania, number 77.
Apparently, we're going to see early Columbia, instead of using the one-back offense that they use against Harvard, they're going to use the full eye with the fullback blocking and try to run straight at Penn. And that's one of the things. Penn is not that big defensively. They are very, very quick. See if they can get them early, push them back a little bit.
Third and long yardage, about 11 yards for the first down. Line of scrimmage to 20 of Columbia. Columbia with the football. Santos' first pass of the afternoon. Complete. John Garrett, the flanker, at the 35-yard line. So on the 3rd and 11, Columbia picks up what they had to do, the first down.
Santos is going to have time to throw here. Out of the eye, drops straight back. He's got good protection, moves a little bit away from the rush. Garrett is clearing it deep across the middle. Nice catch by Garrett, by the way, number 84. His father is the coach for the Cleveland Browns. He is probably their best wide receiver with the most speed outside of the tight end, Dan Upperco. But he is the guy that can fly, 84 Garrett.
Santos sees something he doesn't like defensively, so Columbia calls timeout as he goes over to the sidelines to confer with head coach Bob Naso.
Not only that, the whole Penn defense walked off the field, and they're talking to the defensive coaches. I think that they're a little surprised in the beginning that Columbia would come out and run straight at them. And with that defensive secondary that Penn has, really one of the best, maybe the best defensive secondary in the Ivy League, led by Chambers. Nice throw right in the middle of that zone.
And they're deep at the defensive positions, the key defensive positions. They can substitute without hurting themselves. Still amazing to think that Henry Santos was a free safety a year ago, but he's very comfortable in the quarterback position. Referee Joe Shirk still conferring with umpire John Collins. We're about ready for play now on this big first down play for Columbia. Columbia comes in here, the underdog this afternoon, against Pennsylvania. Out to the right over the middle. The pass is complete up around midfield. That's Mark Milam. And coming in there quickly was Peter Gallagher, the outside linebacker for Penn, number 59, out of Avon, Connecticut, to make the hit.
Well, that's what they want to do, is they want to get Mark Milam is used as a tight end and also as a running back. They want to get their tight ends open and get them into the seams. Again, against the defense is very quick. They might overreact. 2 times in a row off play action, they were able to complete them deep.
Darrell Mitchell gets the call this time, and the ball pops loose, and covering Timmy Chambers for the University of Pennsylvania. So Chambers recovers the fumble. Tim Chambers, the All-Ivy and the preseason Sporting News All-America back there at the cornerback position. Darrell Mitchell trying to go around the right side.
You'll see it on the replay. The toss to Mitchell. He's trying to cut back as he did against Harvard. This time the ball was knocked out, and Chambers again on top of it. He always seems to be near the football, and maybe that's why you make All-American. He's also one of their leading tacklers, and I think needs 2 more interceptions to become the all-time Penn leader. But again, it was forced on his cutback, and that happened to him against Harvard. Mitchell.
Ed Foley, Jeff Goyette, Joe Smelis, Gallo, Petronio, and Hennigan for Pennsylvania. Their first offensive play of the afternoon from the Columbia 46. Off that left side to the 40-yard line. Steve Ortman, Winslow Cervantes making the hit, number 53 for Columbia. Gain of about 6, so 4 yards to go for the first down. But Pennsylvania and the fumble recovery in excellent field position in Columbia territory. Ortman gets the call up the middle. Takes it down about the 36. Picks up about 4 and very close to that first down. Chris Guth, 57, the outside linebacker for Columbia with the tackle.
Columbia's 2 linebackers, Winzo Cervantes, one of their really good linebackers, and Manzarini are 2 people that Penn were really concerned about. And I noticed in this first series that Penn has come out running the football as Harvard did against Columbia 2 weeks ago. It appears that Penn is not going to put it in the air on first down because I think they feel they can run through this line.
Cervantes and Porter have just left the field for Columbia defensively. 3rd down and 1 at the 37 of Columbia. Penn with the ball. And Ortman hurdles over. And if they mark it on the line, he has picked up the first down.
Ortman, the deep tailback. Now watch him try to make his move. He's looking for the opening. There's none there, so what's he do? He goes right over the top. That's the easiest way to get the first down, only you're allowed to get hurt.
Beautiful, brisk afternoon for football here at Franklin Field. First down at the 35 of Columbia. John McGeehan directing the Pennsylvania attack. O'Toole was the man in motion. Ortman gets the pitch, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage as he's really gang tackled by that outside on the right side for Columbia. Coming in there, Cervantes in there, and Mike Moynihan came up from the cornerback position, number 3.
Well, he ran the option, and the back came up and forced. Well, both backs came up and forced, played it beautifully. Really no gain. Penn looks like they can move the ball pretty easily inside. Maybe they're just trying to keep them off balance a little bit. I'd keep hammering away at the inside if I was moving it the way they are.
O'Neal comes out, and Stan Koss goes in at fullback for Penn, number 26. And they shift out of that I into a pro set. They're taking your advice. Upton, the middle is what they try. Again, Chris Guth is in there very quickly. Number 57. And along with Jim Porter, the middle guard, number 64 for Columbia.
They shouldn't have listened to me on that play. Columbia played it pretty well.
That's bringing up a 3rd down situation, and now it's 3rd and 13 as a result of the loss in the last 2 plays. So Pennsylvania, do they go to the air now? As they are split wide on the right side and slotted out there.
Why not?
O'Toole in the slot. McGeehan wants to go downtown. And overthrows Warren Buehler, 85, is split end.
You know, Buehler had beautifully split the safety in the corner and was open, and McGeehan just overthrew him.
Down there back with him was number 4, Ron Hartz, the cornerback. Sam Coroniti, number 10 for the University of Pennsylvania, their punter. He averages 37 yards a punt so far in this young season. Columbia, Pennywell back there, number 24.
And Mr. Garrett, who can fly, number 84.
Yeah, he's back there, right. The punt. Fair catch is what Pennywell calls for on the 7-yard line.
And Columbia starts again with poor field position, but they've been able to move the ball a little bit through the air.
They were moving very effectively if it wasn't for the fumble by Mitchell and the recovery by Chambers. But deep in their own territory, and this is what the Penn defense really likes.
Well, they can really tee off on them now. And I would imagine that Columbia would try to run themselves out of this hole a little bit.
29-yard punt by Mr. Sam Coroniti, about 6 yards, 7 yards under his average. Now you'll notice also, Upton, that Columbia is showing the eye, not the lone setback in this ball game so far. Jimmy Henderson, number 20, he can't turn that corner because that whole side for Penn on that left just closed it down completely. Kevin Bradley leading the charge over there along with Gavin O'Connor.
But it wasn't that they were in the power eye that time, and the power went nowhere. But they will try to do that more often than not, especially when they're in this position. I still think that they're better off with Mitchell as the lone back because he seems to be able to get to the outside better than any of their other backs.
Those backs are lined up in the end zone on this 2nd down and 14. Line of scrimmage is the 4-yard line of Columbia. This time a little bit of a hole there, and they bring it out close to the 10-yard line. The knee went down at the 9. Jimmy Henderson, the ball carrier. He's only 5'8", 165 pounds, the senior out of Pittsburgh for Columbia. Dexter Desir checks in, number 65 at the nose tackle position for Pennsylvania. John Chasmere, number 40, also goes in there. Coming out, Joe Lorenz, 51.
Penn will use a lot of substitution offensively and defensively, and now they know they have them in the hole. They can put the extra back in looking for the pass.
3rd down and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 9-yard line of Columbia. No score in this first quarter between Penn and Columbia. Look at the pressure. Santos gets his way out, looks for his man. It is complete to Mark Milam, number 80. Tim Chambers right there, so very little gain on the play, and Columbia will be punting from practically their own end zone.
Well, he rushed away from the rush, and when they do blitz, they will send Bradley, number 95, their All-American candidate at linebacker, and they're so quick they got to him, but he did a fine job of sidestepping that rush.
Single setback for Penn as Pete Murphy gets set to punt. Timmy Chambers takes it at the 48. Wants to go right. He's got some blocking. Timmy Chambers. One man, Murphy to beat. Slows him down and brought down at the 10-yard line by the last man that had a shot at him, Mike Moynihan, number 3.
Timmy Chambers sets up the wall on this return, and you can see why he's probably their most valuable player. He starts to his right, gets in behind the wall. Great block right in front of him. Now he heads down the sidelines. He sees there's 1 or 2 men left. He tries to get him a little shake and bake there. Taken out on the 10-yard line, but he really has that fine speed.
High formation, 1st and goal from the 10. John McGeehan, open man. It is complete to his man, Jimmy O'Toole, the wide receiver, who swung out and just circled in, and right on the money was the pass from McGeehan.
Right after somebody breaks your back with a great return, as Chambers did with fine blocking, they set it up immediately by throwing it, and they got him, O'Toole, coming across the field. They really had flooded that defense, and now they really have them down the 1-foot line.
2nd down and goal to go from the 1. High formation. You have Ortman and Koss in the lineup. Bueller in motion, and Ortman hurdle, and touchdown Pennsylvania.
There's no way you stop that play on the goal line when you see a guy like Ortman be able to hurdle.
Ortman has just scored his 2nd touchdown of the season. Tom Murphy, who is 8 for 8 in extra points this season, number 1 for Pennsylvania, will be attempting the extra point. And he splits the uprights, and it is Pennsylvania 7 and Columbia nothing. And here's a message of special interest.
Hello, I'm Philip Stevens of GTE. If you make advertising or underwriting decisions for your company, I'd like to ask you to consider joining us as a corporate underwriter of the Ivy League Game of the Week. By doing so, you'll be endorsing the fine example the league sets in striking an appropriate balance between scholarship and athletics. You'll also be reaching an influential audience, favorably and efficiently, and you'll be helping public television. If your company can benefit from this kind of exposure, call Barry Frank at 212-832-4997 and join us on the Ivy League Game of the Week.
Why not join us on the Ivy League Game of the Week? It's a lot of fun, and people, corporations that really want to contribute to something worthwhile, give Barry Frank a call at 832-4997, area code 212. I might call him myself, except I've run out of money.
And here's Murphy's kickoff after Penn's touchdown. That's Pennywell taking it at the 10. Shifts gears, and now across the 30 when he's brought down. So Pennywell looked like he was going to be hit about 8 yards behind, and got another good gain out of the play before Moyer could bring him down, number 15. So Columbia will put the ball in play from their own 32-yard line as they trail with 6:51 remaining in the first quarter, 7-0. Pennsylvania moved 10 yards in 2 plays, consuming 45 seconds, and Ortman scoring from 1 yard out. That's the scoring that we have in the ball game so far. Columbia was moving on their first offensive series and then fumbled the ball, and Penn stopped the drive with the recovery. Jimmy Henderson, number 20, but he does not get around to the outside of Peter Gallagher, number 59, the outside linebacker for Penn.
They have such outstanding linebackers, Penn does, that it's so difficult to get outside. Mitchell's really the only one to me that's going to get outside, although they think Henderson has some track speed.
Jesus. Second down, about 9 for the first down. Ball at the 33-yard line of Columbia, as they have been lining up in the I. Al Gonzalez, the fullback, the up man.
Oh.
And hit behind that line of scrimmage, just meeting him head on, was Tom Gilmore, the defensive tackle for Pennsylvania, number 79.
He really, on their defensive line, Coach Jerry Burnt thinks that he might be the best defensive player in the Ivy League. He is so quick and so strong. He is defeating the man at the line of scrimmage immediately.
Third down and 14. Ball at the 28-yard line as Columbia is wide on both sides. Mitchell, the lone back in the backfield. The draw, and again, Gavin O'Connor does not give ground. John Chirico, the wingback, taking that. Tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Columbia is trying right now. Penn just meets them right in the hole. They're ready for everything. They try to draw. The defensive backs are in the hole. They try to pass. The linemen are in the backfield. So,
fourth down and 16. As Murphy's standing on his own 13-yard line. You have Chambers in single coverage back at the 38. Murphy gets the punt away high. Fair catch is signaled for at the 44-yard line. So far in the ball game, Steve Ortman has 6 carries for 9 yards and a touchdown for Pennsylvania. Penn comes out of the huddle on this first down at the 44-yard line. They're wide on that left side. Bueller, Pat Bueller, 83 in motion. And good yardage across midfield to the 49-yard line as Rich Comizio, the sophomore from New Fairfield, Connecticut, averaging over 6 yards a carry, gets it into Columbia territory.
Well, when you look at Comizio, he's another player that they feel might be one of the best backs in Penn history. Thank you, Reds Bagnell and some of the other people. Very quick.
There you see Columbia's defensive backs. Gain of about 7 on that play, so it's only 3 yards for the first down on this second down. Off that left side, blocking behind Goyette and Smelis. Very close to the first down.
Danger for Columbia now is the Harvard game of 3 weeks ago, when Harvard scored early and then came back and started to run on them. It appears Penn is using almost, Dick, the same game plan.
And Penn puts in their 2 tight ends. They have 82 Sean Shoulder and 83 Pat Bueller. Now, Bueller goes out wide now as they come out of the huddle and go wide. In the I formation, they line up on this third down. And a yard to go for the first down at the 47-yard line of Columbia. And hit behind that line of scrimmage. There's no going as Chris Guth is over there to get Rich Comizio. Chris Guth here very quickly, number 57.
Everybody's screaming to go for it, but they're not the coach.
It is fourth down. Penn has the lead, 7-0.
At this time in the game, why bother going for it? You don't want to give the team a chance to get the ball and turn around and score. We've seen that happen the last 2 weeks.
Sam Coroniti standing at his own 40-yard line to punt. John Conlon back in single coverage, calls for fair catch for Columbia, touches the ball, fumbles it. Pennsylvania recovers at the 20-yard line. See who pounced on the football. Very bad mistake. And Penn comes up with Conlon's fumble. And again gets excellent field position. Joe Smelis, the center, came downfield and recovered the fumble of John Conlon. Conlon had singled for the fair catch and then just moved up and stretched instead of bringing the ball in.
A lot of mistakes early by Columbia really puts Penn in great field position.
Pennsylvania Excellent field position. And again, it is Comizio who gets the call. And he takes it inside that 15, down close to the 12-yard line. Tom Johnston, the inside linebacker, 16, makes the tackle.
He really got good blocking. And the thing you can see about Comizio, even this early in the game as a sophomore, is the way he cuts back. Gets the toss from the quarterback. Fullback leads. Now watch him cut it back. Right over the guard. That's the one talent that any running back has to have, and that's the ability to cut back.
2nd down and 2 now for Penn at the 12-yard line of Columbia. Jim O'Toole wide on the left. Right up the middle is the call again to the 5, down to the 1-yard line. Stacked up at the 1 by Denby. Fumble, took it out of his hand. Steve Ortman. And they took it out of his hand, and Columbia gets the ball back. Denmead took it out of his hand, number 10.
I formation. Misdirection. Guard pulling. Right off the guard. Fine run by Ortman. Now he hits, and on his way down, he evidently fumbled. I thought his knee touched the ground, Dick, on that play, and I don't think they deserve the ball, but I'm not down there. But his knee did touch the ground. It was hard to see where the ball popped out beforehand. I don't think it did, but Denmead made the recovery and saved their skins early in the game.
But once again, Columbia so deep in their own territory, no room to work from. Their own 1-yard line. Darrell Mitchell finds little going off that right side.
There's one thing that the Penn offense knows, that unless Columbia pulls something out here, that they're going to have good field position for the 4th time in the first quarter.
Ortman had carried 15 yards down to that 1-yard line before he fumbled. He now has 24 yards rushing on 7 carries and a touchdown. 2nd down and 8. Columbia from their own 3. Darrell Mitchell again. And again, you're running into Kevin Bradley, number 95.
And the Penn defensive line is so close to the line of scrimmage. They've cheated their linebackers. Bradley up so close. They would be susceptible if anybody was interested in throwing something over top of them, because they are so close to that line of scrimmage and they react so quickly. They need something.
3rd down and 8 now from their own 3, Columbia. Playing center field for Penn, number 41, Ross Armstrong, and he's a good one. Columbia wide on both sides. Santos trying to draw with the long count. Now he's trying to get away. In and out of the hands of John Garrett, number 84. Incomplete. Santos saved the safety initially.
You're going to see some fine scrambling by Santos here. 1 back. He's looking to throw quickly to his left, but Penn has put the pressure on from the left-hand side and also good coverage. Now Santos says to himself, do I run or throw it? I say run it, but he throws it. It's incomplete, but look at the defense around it. Timmy Chambers comes up with the ball on the incompletion, but there are 3 men around the ball.
Pete Murphy kicking from the back of his end zone. And Timmy Chambers feels it. And again, excellent field position as he steps out of bounds at the 30-yard line of Columbia. Timmy Chambers, one of the best punt returners there is in this league.
He loves to catch it on the fly, and you can see also with the flags, the other problem that Columbia has is the wind is against them. You can see it on that punt. The ball just died, and Chambers caught it on the run. 1 more block, and he'd been gone down the sidelines.
Columbia 10 rushes, only minus 4 yards. And Penn 11 rushes, 36 yards so far in the ball game. 7-0 Penn out in front. Penn with the ball at the 30 of Columbia. John McGinn is hit as he wanted to throw the ball and nailed hard in there by Eric Dill, number 73, the defensive tackle for Columbia.
That would have been a lineman's dream for number 64 for Columbia, because he didn't have a full grip on the football and he let it slip out of his hands and it almost went into the defensive lineman's hands.
Almost like we saw last week at Princeton when McGregor made that interception. 2nd down and 10. Penn at the Columbia 30. Stan Koss gets the call, 26. Tries the middle of Columbia. shut down as Jim Porter, the middle guard, is there.
Penn's going to be running a lot of backs in and out. They feel that they have 4 or 5 really good backs, so it doesn't make any difference who's in the game, except for Comizio. When he's in the game, you know it.
3rd down and 6 now for Penn at the 26. And that is the end of the first quarter with the score, Penn 7, Columbia nothing. Penn is 1 for 3 so far in the ball game in 3rd down conversions after 1 quarter of play. And we had only 1 score in that first quarter, and that was a 10-yard 2-play drive with Ortman going over from the 1 to give Penn their lone score, which was set up after they had recovered a fumble by Darrell Mitchell of Columbia.
But you would truly have to say that the score is no indication of the domination of Penn, and also Columbia's mistakes have led to some of that domination. You can't keep giving somebody good field position.
And Sean McDonough with an update.
Gentlemen, some scores from games around the country in the second quarter. Auburn and Mississippi are tied at 10. Penn State leads Maryland 7-3. That ball game also in the second quarter. They're at halftime at Pitt. The Panthers looking for their first victory and leading East Carolina 14-0. North Carolina State is ahead of Georgia Tech 10-7. That's in the second quarter. Missouri shutting out Colorado 14-0. And Texas Tech leads Texas A&M 7-3. All of those ball games in the second quarter.
On this 3rd down and 7, Penn goes to the air. It is complete to Ortman inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Conlon over there, number 30, to make the hit for Columbia.
Well, there's Penn talking now about what they like to do on first down to really confuse the defense. They'll roll away from the pressure and throw the football on first down. Now we have a whole new group, Dick, of backs and receivers coming into the game. Not only does it make it fresh, but Coach Burnt sends in plays with each and every receiver.
Keep your eye on number 42, the deep man in the eye, Rich Comizio for Penn. On this first down at the 18. Penn is also wide on that right and slotted there. Comizio gets the call. Inside the 10. Polo Castro over there quickly, along with Rick Cavalli for Columbia, number 8.
Number 42, Rich Comizio, all Ivy freshman. Here he is as a sophomore, takes the jab step. Watch him bounce outside. He reads his blocks. Another 7 or 8 yards for Penn. They're running well out on the misdirection play that time. I mean, he's the perfect guy to run it.
Pat Bueller out there wide on the right side on this 2nd down and 2 at the 10-yard line of Columbia. Comizio gets the call, and you look at him just slide as he takes it down to the, close to the 2-yard line before Jim Porter, the middle guard, can finally put him down. Those legs are always sliding. You never get a direct hit.
Well, that case, Sam Denmead, number 10 of Columbia, had him dead in the hole, and he just gave him a little step and went right by him. And Denmead's probably one of their best defensive backs.
Jerry Burnt thinks that Comizio is going to be one of the legendary backs in the Ivy League before his career is finished at Penn.
As I said, he better check with Reds Bagnell.
First down, goal to go from the 2-yard line now, Penn. And Koss can't get his footing, number 26, and he stopped at the 1-yard line. Just couldn't get himself untracked.
That's one of the first times I've seen in many a year a full T. 3 men in the backfield like the old-fashioned T formation. Handed off to Koss, and he just missed the touchdown.
Well, Penn just comes out of the huddle and knocks on the door and says, well, it's 2nd down and goal to go. Line up in the eye, deep back in the eye is Comizio. And pushing in for the score, Pennsylvania, Jim O'Toole.
Why not give it to your up back? And that's just what they do. The fullback in this formation, he just leaps a little bit, and they're in the end zone. So they're probably looking for Comizio to run it, and they just give it the short handoff up and over the top.
Ortman goes over the top, and Penn jumps out to a 13-0 lead. Murphy with the extra point. And that is good. And Mr. Murphy now is 10 for 10 on the season in extra points. And Pennsylvania has a 14-0 lead over Columbia with 2:48 remaining, having just gone by in the second quarter.
Al, now the problem for Columbia being down 14-0, they know what it's like to be down 14-0. They've had it happen in their past 2 games. Penn's defense knows that they're going to have to throw the football. So what you're probably going to see is a lot of blitzing, and those safeties just sit back there and wait. Santos will have to get himself away from the pressure, but they've got to make some penetration without mistakes. Well, they're in for an awful long day, and so are we.
Well, that drive by Penn consumed 30 yards, 7 plays.
You know, Columbia has some outside speed. 2 of the men back there returning the kickoff have speed for Columbia.
24, Pennywell can go.
Pennywell and Henderson both can go. Mitchell can fly. Garrett can fly. And they're just going to have to put it in the air as much as they have to.
Murphy says he's ready, number 1 for Pennsylvania. Jimmy Henderson will take it at the 5. And he is hit on across the 20, brought down at the 23. John Chismar, number 40, the junior cornerback for Pennsylvania, making the hit, and a good one.
14-0 in the second quarter is a defensive lineman's dream, especially when you know, look at the possession and the time involved, especially when you know what the other team's going to do, or think you know.
First down now, Columbia, trying to get something going for themselves. They've stopped themselves for the most part so far in the ball game. Out there to the flat, but over the outstretched hands of Darrell Mitchell. Upton, how soon before you get concerned about your game plan when you're down 14-0 and looks like you're being dominated?
Well, probably if you looked at the films this week, I'd have been concerned before the game, taking a look at that Penn defense. As I said at the top of the show, there probably isn't a better defense in this league right now. Maybe Harvard as they come along, but there's not much you can do. You try and dump it to your back like Mitchell there, and there's a defensive end standing right in his face.
Santos has put the ball up 5 times, completed 3 for 37 yards for Columbia on this 2nd and 10 now. Oh, here comes the Pennsylvania pursuit, and down he goes. Kevin Bradley leading the charge down there. Also coming in was Dexter Desir, number 65.
Here's an example of a quarterback having rushers come at him from every which way. Santos is trying to line up, and they've got him lined up, all 3 of them. Again, their theory of defense is as many people around the ball as possible, and we've seen them all today.
And Columbia once again deep in their own territory with a long 3rd down situation, 3rd and 19. Has converted only 1 of 4 3rd down conversions. Darrell Mitchell can't hang on to the football.
Well, he
Timmy Chambers out there covering.
That's one thing. I think he turned, which receivers have a hesitancy to do. In this case, the running back. He was trying to get himself upfield and find out who was knocking at the door there. And it was Chambers. He took his eye off the ball, and down went the ball.
You really don't have to look, do you, to know that number 22 for Penn is around someplace, the All-Ivy and preseason All-American. Pete Murphy of Columbia standing on his goal line to punt. Line of scrimmage is the 14-yard line. Gets good wood into it high, and Chambers is going to run. Finally brought down from behind by Conlon of Columbia. 41-yard punt for Murphy.
When you punt, and you have to punt to Timmy Chambers, as he moves here in behind number 24, watch the way he cuts back. He doesn't have great speed. He has good speed, but he breaks tackles, and he's not very big. He's only 5'10", 5'10.5". A lot of people have looked at him as a pro prospect and said he's not big enough, but I think he can play.
Ball at the 38-yard line of Columbia. Once again, Penn in excellent position as McGeehan wants to go deep, looking for Bueller. Can't hang on. Incomplete.
Well, the play action had held in the deep backs of Columbia. Really fine faking by McGeehan there to get Bueller deep. And, of course, if you're running well, Dick, we can see the strength of his arm. That's about 40 yards in the air. Bueller has beaten the defense. He tries to make a diving catch. The ball just goes through his hands. But when you're able to run and pass both long and short, it just sets it up beautifully for Bueller. Defense is guessing all the time.
Second down and 10 now, Pennsylvania. You have to say which Bueller. That was 83 Pat Bueller, because his brother Warren is 85, the split end. Good. Mizio gets the call off that right side. He takes it down to the 32-yard line. Cavalli there to hit him for Columbia. Mazzarini in quickly too, 66.
You're just afraid the guy's going to get angry with you. Just call them twins out there.
They are. And are they? Seeing them without their helmets.
Penn continues to shuffle people in and out offensively as well as defensively with the new call, but with fresh bodies in the game at the skilled positions.
Third down and 5. Penn at the Columbia 33. And Penn is 2 for 4 in third down conversions. Ortman in deep man in the eye. He gets the pitch. He stutters along, picks up the first down inside the 25. Again, shifty running by Steve Ortman, the senior tailback out of Glen Ridge, New Jersey.
All their backs pick themselves well. Ortman from the deep position in the eye. He's reading the block off the back's tail. Number 74 does a fine job of blocking, and he gets himself around the end. But their backs aren't that speedy. They just really pick their holes well, and they're getting fine blocking up front.
First and 10 at the 25 now. Penn on the move once again. They lead 14-0. And McGeehan keeps himself to the 21-yard line. Chris Guth, number 57, made the initial hit. A concerned coach, and rightfully so. We have a sophomore, Steve Olszewski, in at fullback, wearing number 36 now. And getting the call straight ahead to the 17-yard line.
Beauty of this eye, that was Alexis there. The beauty of this I formation is that both backs run so well, and the offensive line is moving the Columbia defense back on each play, is that you don't really know where it goes. That time was a short handoff to the fullback.
Third down and 3 at the 17-yard line. Penn on the move once again as they lead 14-0. John McGeehan. They're looking for Jimmy O'Toole, number 34, but off his fingertips. But it was covered. Paulo Castro back there for Columbia, number 2.
They almost used too much time faking. That's all part of their offense this time. And what Columbia did is they saw when he was using his fake off the sprint, they just blitzed their people, got right in his face.
Murphy's going to be attempting a field goal. It'll be a 29-yard attempt. Make that a 34-yard attempt. And it's good, and there's a flag on the play.
Might have roughing the kicker. They were all coming at him at once. In fact, I didn't think he was going to get it up.
It had plenty of foot to it.
You know, they might have an opportunity, depending upon the penalty, for a first down. Question is, do you take the 3 points of the first down? I think they're going to take the first down. How do you like that for a replay? That's what he's doing. He's talking to the quarterback right now.
And Jerry Burnt just gave him the signal. I just happened to catch the move.
Go for it.
Go.
Why not? Now, if it was 7-0, you might think about taking the 3 points. But if you think you're rolling pretty well the way they are, then you take the first down.
John McGeehan making very sure of his options as he confers with the referee, Joseph Shirk. That gives them the first down. Puts the ball at the 12-yard.
The penalty is running into the kicker on the defensive team. We'll have a first down.
You know, that's such a hard play to call, Dick. It's as when they changed the rule in the face mask penalty. It used to be an automatic 15 yards. How do you know when a guy is actually intentionally running into the kicker and when somebody's momentum carries them into it? I think that rule's got to be changed.
Pat Bueller in motion, 83 for Penn.
They're offside.
Camizio was going to be the ball carrier, number 42.
Right side of Penn's line was offside.
As you pointed out so early, Penn just substitutes in 3s and 4s.
They might even give him a play with each one of those players.
Dead ball foul, illegal procedure, offense.
Well, Penn faces a 1st and 15 now with the ball put back at the 17-yard line.
That was Matt Petronio, by the way. 74 was in motion for Penn.
Bueller out wide on the left. Warren Bueller. Pass is complete to O'Toole, number 34, and driven out of bounds by Denmead. Sam Denmead of Columbia, number 10.
Beautiful way Penn is spreading out their offense. O'Toole, number 34, comes out of the backfield. Quarterback gives him time to clear. Now he's left with nothing but a defensive back. And by the time the back gets to him, he's got a 7-yard pickup. They really have spread the defense.
Rich Camizio checks into the lineup, as does tight end Sean Shoulder, number 82. Warren
Perfect
Bueller.
name for a tight end, Sean Shoulder.
And Pat Bueller, rather, 83, out there wide on that right side on the 2nd down and 3 at the 5-yard line of Columbia. And look at that hole for Camizio as he gets another 6.
Right off the left side, Camizio comes right in between the guard and the tackle. We take another look at it. They pull the guard the other way, and Camizio, watch him shoot into the hole. That's the big thing about him. If it's there, he gets through it very quickly, but that left side just blew everybody out.
And Mr. Murphy will be attempting the extra point once again. No question about it as he hits, and it is now 21-0. Pennsylvania over Columbia. And that is 11 in a row in extra points for Tom Murphy, the senior place kicker from New Hyde Park, New York, majoring in finance at the University of Pennsylvania.
Well, there's one thing for sure. Penn was going to make sure that their game against Davidson last week had no effect today. They didn't really play well, and that's always a concern when you play in a league and you play a team outside the league after they beat Dartmouth the way they did. You really wonder, then you have to play a team like Davidson, who almost beats them here, and then they come back today and they're fresh as ever.
The other thing, Upton, is Pennsylvania is not playing a highly emotional game by any means. Are playing, though, it shows you the quality of their team, how methodical and workmanlike they are, and not playing like high and intense.
Well, this week in the Boston Globe, Joe Ukika, who played against this Penn powerhouse team, in their opening game said that he's seen Harvard on film and he played against Penn and he thinks Harvard's better.
John Pennywell takes it at the 10. Number 24 wants to try the other side of the field. And look at that coverage downfield, special team unit. It's Peter Gallagher getting down there quickly for the University of Pennsylvania to make the tackle.
One of the things that happens to you when your team, Penn, is playing so well, the special teams, offense and defense, it just fires everybody up. Conversely, Columbia isn't able to do anything right. You get yourself down early in the game mentally.
We have a score from around the Ivy League in the first quarter. Yale, looking for its first win of the season, is out in front of Morgan State 14-0 in a non-league encounter. Up the middle, Columbia wants to try the middle, and they push it for a few yards, close to the 20-yard line.
Do you think anybody up at Yale will be watching to see if any coaches are tripping players? Huh?
Mr. Coulter did not make that trip, you know. He's been suspended for 3 weeks.
That was a coach from Morgan State who, we'll say allegedly, although it showed on film, he tripped one of the opposing players who was running for a touchdown.
For the University of Connecticut. We have a flag on this play. Santos throws it out to Jimmy Henderson, but there was a flag on the play. Back at the 16-yard line.
Tim Chambers down there is upset if any team even gets a yard.
Kevin Bradley going over now to check it out, number 95 for Penn. He's co-captain, all Ivy. He's given the signal. There you see. We'll let the official do it. Illegal motion.
Penalties, mistakes.
Yeah,
penalties,
illegal
mistakes.
motion on the offense. Repeat the down.
I think one of the other things that Columbia is doing is they're trying to anticipate Penn's quickness. Sometimes just be better to sit back and play your own game.
Columbia trailing 21-0 with 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Has a second down and 11. Their own 15. Santos for Upperco. Complete at the 30-yard line. Gang tackled immediately. That man, that young man, 85, is a super athlete.
Dan Upperco, number 85. This is from the one back. Santos with some pressure on him. In fact, he's got a lot of pressure on him, but more time than before. He waits for Upperco to clear right in the middle of the zone. Now look at how many people are around Upperco. He gets 2 shots in the back. There are 4 people around him.
First down, 10, and Jimmy Henderson coughs up the football. We have a flag on the play. Henderson coughed up the football. Walker nailed him.
Also, Tim Chambers, number 22, might have caused that fumble. Face masking. Penn did something wrong.
Coaches who watch the game films of any Penn game see a machine, and a well-oiled one.
The 5-yard face mask on the defense.
That makes it first down, and about 2 yards to go for the first down. The line of scrimmage now is the 37-yard line of Columbia. Chirico, the up man in the eye for Columbia.
He's got time.
Santos has time, and he finds Francisconi. He gets to the 45-yard line. He's hit in there by Peter Gallagher, 59 for Penn. That's first down for Columbia.
That's the first time that he really has had a lot of time to throw. He got himself a first down, but he's not going to have time to throw any deep routes, I can tell you that. Santos is going to roll to the left. He's going to throw back to his right. Now look at the time he has to throw. Almost across the field to 27, Mike Francisconi, enough for a first down.
At the 45, you have Garrett in a slot at the left side there. Chirico a wing on the right. Santos fakes the pitch. We have another flag thrown, as he was hit by Gavin O'Connor, number 20.
There has been a lot of action on the line of scrimmage between Columbia, number 77, Ed Barrio, and some of the defensive players of Penn. And Barrio's really been going after them. Been quite upset. Play before last, he went after one of the Penn players. They're so aggressive, you know, they get them upset. But you don't want to get too many penalties and let a team to get back in the game.
That's exactly it.
Because of mistakes and penalties.
But
it looks like it's going the other way.
Columbia holding, so the 10 yards will be marked off against the Lions. We're trying to sustain the drive.
Release of the hands on the offense.
That means when you can't stop them, hold them. And that's what they're doing.
First down is 16. You're not saying they're at the desperation stage, are you?
Well, hey, listen, you gotta hold, you have to hold. And the other line's much quicker than you are.
John Chirico, the lone back there for Columbia, 44. Santos wants over the middle. His man is wide open, and he throws it into the turf. Jimmy Henderson, 20, was there.
See, the other thing that they're doing, Dick, this early in the game is that the defensive line is putting so much pressure on their offensive line, they're actually pushing Columbia's pass protectors into the quarterback. And as a result, Santos can't see anything. he's having his own men pushed in his face, so they don't need to tackle him. Just push him into the quarterback's face.
Jerry Burnt playing second liners in some of those key positions defensively already in the ballgame on this 2nd down and 16 for Columbia, their own 39. Wide open uppercut in Pennsylvania territory, brought down at the 47-yard line. He has a knack. Armstrong brings him down. Ross Armstrong, 41.
I think we have a penalty again too.
Back at the 32.
Holding.
Yep.
It's just the pressure.
That's frustration so much now.
Yeah, because you see the completion to Upperco here. Great pressure on Santos. And again, Penn is so quick. They're not that big up front. They're so quick. Now, what do? You got to grab a shirt. You got to grab something. Important thing is you don't want to get caught.
And in those same situations, everybody's looking for it. The officials are
10
looking.
yard, only use of the hands on the offense. Repeat the down.
The only thing that's going to take the pressure off now is a few screen passes. Maybe they get the ball to Mitchell. Screen on Penn. They haven't tried that yet. Slow down this rush, because if not, Santos is going to be running all day long.
Well, Mr. Santos now has a 2nd down and 26 from his own 29-yard line. He's 5 of 9 for 58 yards. Wants to go to the draw, and Chirico is just smothered by Ken Coombs, and Gavin O'Connor couldn't wait to get a piece of him either. 97 Ken Coombs, 20 Gavin O'Connor.
They blitz their linebackers and their outside people. Number 77 is the man that has had his problems holding. He's also the man that has had problems fighting. You can see he doesn't really pick up the outside man. That's Ed Barrio. He doesn't pick up the outside man, and that's the problem. They're running right by his outside.
3rd down and 28. Line of scrimmage, the 27-yard line of Columbia.
They're coming.
Pretty good block. Crossfield, nobody there. Francisconi, the maybe man, number 27. But a difficult pass to throw, as you well know. Roll to your right, throw crossfield. Gilmore, Tom Gilmore, tremendous pressure.
Well, again, he's their quickest and their strongest lineman, put on 20 pounds. As you watch Francisconi run off, the quarterback, Henry Santos, is taking a hell of a beating today. I mean, that's being kind about it.
Pete Murphy, 4 punts, averaging 35 yards. 42-yarder, his longest. Gets a good roll. And out of bounds it goes at the 29-yard line. And so we're going to pause just a moment in our coverage of this game between the Quakers and the Lions with the score, Pennsylvania 21, Columbia nothing.
Ivy League football is brought to you by the Travelers, the same people who have provided value in insurance and financial services for over a century. The Travelers, where fairness is good business. GTE, the company that can provide complete telecommunications networks for voice as well as data. This is the Eastern Educational Network.
You're tuned to Channel 12 WHYY-TV, serving Greater Philadelphia and the entire Delaware Valley.
And there you see it. Penn with a commanding lead, and Pete Murphy, the Columbia punter, hit a 44-yarder a moment ago, and now his average is 36.4 for this ball game.
Might be their best offensive weapon so far today.
Penn splits it out wide on the left side as they have a 1st down at their own 29. John McGinn wants to go for it all, and it's intercepted by Conlon of Columbia at the 35. Conlon at the 40. And out of bounds in front of the University of Pennsylvania benches. Conlon makes a fine interception of that go-for-broke pass by John McGinn, who was trying to surprise everybody.
On 1st down, really a great interception here. McGeehan is really teeing off, going deep. Watch the interception. He plays it right over his shoulder. Now he gets himself turned upfield. Hennigan finally brings him out, but that's really a terrific interception. I mean, it was beaten deep and still turned around and made the interception.
Well, let's see if Columbia can turn something into something productive right at this moment. with a first down at their own 42-yard line. Santos, lots of time, but no receivers open. Oh, throws into a crowd, and Armstrong almost has the interception. Couldn't contain it, couldn't hold on. Upperco was the intended receiver for Columbia. That was what you say, the type of pass that should not have been thrown into that direction. There was a horde of blue shirts there.
Yeah, I don't think that he has much choice, though, because nothing else is working. That time he got a little more time to throw, but at the end of every play, he's taking a shot from somebody. That's Santos.
He's 5 for 10 passing, Upton, but only 58 yards. Second down and 10 now to the 42-yard line of Columbia. Jerry McFadden, number 77, along with Gavin O'Connor, comes barreling in, and Santos finds himself back at the 30.
Every play they're facing that rush, and every play Penn is sending an extra linebacker, an outside guy, constantly confusing the blocking assignments of the offensive line of Columbia. As you can see, they're very quick. By the way, this package, as they call it, defensive package, the Penn coaches went down to Miami with Don Shula, their defensive coordinator, last year, and spent about 2 or 3 weeks and put a lot of the defenses in the Dolphins use.
That was Conlon's first career interception. Can't go to a better place to study, right?
I was going to say, they look more like the Dolphins than the Dolphins.
3rd and 21 now. They go to the draw, but Chirico does not get by Kevin Bradley and McFadden. Bradley 95, McFadden 77. O'Connor around the ball all the time, too, number 20. Ivy League scores. Brown out in front of Princeton in the first period. And scoreless between Cornell and Bucknell in the first period. Well, Dartmouth over Holy Cross. That might be something of a surprise in the first period. Harvard and Army are scoreless. Yale 14, Morgan State nothing. A punt now on this 4th and 19 by Murphy. Chambers drops back, takes it at the 23. It's across the 25, bounces. A flag is thrown. A flag is thrown as Conlon came downfield very quickly to make the hit for Columbia.
They had set up a wall on the right-hand side. The officials discussing it. It's probably going to be against Penn. Anytime you see somebody setting up a wall on the right side, you figure it's clipping.
You called it, Upton, but then you usually do.
Should I get officials pay?
Well, whatever you want to do, my friend, it's all right, because nobody will say no to you.
Well, I don't know about that. As they walk this off, now Penn has the opportunity to see if they can move the ball the full length of the field.
We have a clip on the return, and we have a 1st and 10 going out.
All right, clip on the return, as you heard. So Penn deep in their own territory for probably the first time in this ball game as they lead 21-0 with 3:05 to go in the second quarter. Camizio, by the way, the outstanding sophomore from New Fairfield, Connecticut for Penn, has 37 yards and 8 carries and 1 touchdown. John McGeehan with the fake, then the pitch. And that's Ortman. And Ortman just blazes across the 25 to the 26. Picks up about 13 yards on that carry. Paulo Castro with the tackle.
Option by the quarterback, fake to the fullback. Beautiful option here. Now watch him right through that crack. That's what I like about the Penn backs. They see the lightning and they go, or they see the daylight and go right through it. They had 2 people that closed him down there. He got right through the hole.
First down at their own 27. It's Camizio. Look at him slide out, almost break out of the pack across the 35 to the 36. So he picks up 9 yards on that carry. But he's going off that left side blocking, Upton, of Jeff Goyette and Joe Smalis as center, Goyette to guard, and Foley to tackle.
Foley and Goyette and Smalis especially, they really like to run behind them, but they have mixed it up well. Now they can really run out the clock.
2:14 to
Take
go.
the ball down the field, not really have to put it in the air much.
Second down and 2 now from their own 35. Penn now in a pro set. Slides around. Mike O'Neill, the fullback, and he gets it across the 45. Picks up a first down for Penn. Paulo Castro, number 2, made the tackle.
Again, you have your backs. This is the fullback, O'Neill. Takes that jab step, follows right in behind his center and his guard, but he cuts back. That's what all their backs do so well. Usually you don't see a fullback cut back that well. And remember, when you're only a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage, you have to make your decision quickly on which way you're going to cut.
McGeehan, by the way, has put the ball up 8 times, completed 3 passes for 31 yards, 1 interception. Ortman puts the ball into Columbia territory at about the 47-yard line. Cavalli over there, number 8, makes the hit along with Pelo Castro, number 2.
Now they're going to take time out, think about how many deep passes they want to throw to try and get down there before the end of the first half.
You can't ask for a better day here in Philadelphia. With the score 21-0, Penn out in front. Of course, everybody enjoying it. And here's now a message of special interest.
Hello, I'm Philip Stevens of GTE. If you make advertising or underwriting decisions for your company, I'd like to ask you to consider joining us as a corporate underwriter of the Ivy League Game of the Week. By doing so, you'll be endorsing the fine example the league sets in striking an appropriate balance between scholarship and athletics. You'll also be reaching an influential audience, favorably and efficiently, and you'll be helping public television. If your company can benefit from this kind of exposure, call Barry Frank at 212-832-4997 and join us on the Ivy League Game of the Week.
You know, actually, these games are a lot of fun. In fact, we'd like to have everybody come up here in the upper deck with us on a beautiful day like today. But since you can't do it and travel first class with Dick and myself, how about giving Barry Frank a call at area code 212-832-4997. Enjoy Ivy League football for a long time.
2nd down and 4 now. Line of scrimmage is the 48. 1:27 seconds left in the second quarter. Ortman has 53 yards. 7-7 Brown and Princeton now in the second period. Cornell trailing Bucknell 3-0 in the second period. And Penn out in front here by 3 touchdowns. O'Neal gets the ball and gets it down about the 46-yard line.
This is what you call using the clock well, even with a big lead. It's with 1:13 seconds. They're not going to let Columbia get the ball back, even if they don't end up scoring. And you like to go in the locker room, even with this 21-0 lead, on a positive note. So they're going to hold the football, I guarantee you.
Talk about positive. Ortman with 53 yards and 10 carries and 1 touchdown. Penn is 3 for 6 in third down conversions. Has to make 2, and they do. As Alexis makes up the first down there, Riga hits him, but not after he had picked up the first down for Penn.
Number 42, Rich Camizio in the tailback position. He takes it from 7-yard deep, reads the block. Look at the moves here. Then he runs over somebody. Number 58 for Columbia really makes a great move. This is meant for him. This is a perfect offense for him, because standing back where he is 7 yards off the line of scrimmage and being able to read that block and read as well as he does, the offense is set up perfectly for him also to catch the football. And I think you'll see more of that as he goes along in his career, assuming he stays healthy for the next 3 years.
Just seconds remaining, 51 seconds in the second quarter. In third down conversion so far in the first half, pretty obvious. Penn has converted 4 of 7 opportunities. Columbia only 1 of 7 opportunities. Yale has now picked up another touchdown, goes out in front of Morgan State, 21-0.
You know, the way Dartmouth is playing, Dartmouth and Yale play next week, that should be a heck of a game.
And aside from that, too, the intensity of that great rivalry. 38-yard line of Columbia. Penn with the football. And McGeehan wants to throw. Looking for Bueller. He's got him at the 20. 15 down to the 12. Pelo Castro, number 2, brings him down. Pat Bueller, they're under 83.
Perfect execution by the quarterback on the run. Watch his throw on the run to Bueller. Bueller comes back for the ball. Gets himself turned upfield, which is what you want to teach every receiver, and tackled by Chris Regan, number 58.
And Penn with no huddle now completes another pass. Pat Bueller again. This time it's inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Pennsylvania wants to punch it in. They lead 21-0, but they want to punch it in.
And their execution and use of the clock is something that other teams, if they're going to play them in the future, their big game against Harvard in November, take a look at the way this quarterback and the way they set up the clock against Columbia. I don't care who it is. That's what really breaks your back before the end of the first half. They said they started, what, at the 18-yard line? And they only had about 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. They're down to 28 seconds now. Mix the run beautifully. They get down here, one long pass, and it looks like they're going to score again. It looks like it.
McGeehan has thrown the ball 10 times, completed 5 of those for 65 yards. He's been intercepted once. Penn's 3 touchdowns have come on the ground. Ortman 2 times from 1 yard out. Camizio from 7 yards out. Pat Bueller, 2 receptions now for 34 yards in the last 2 plays, and both of them coming. It is now 2nd and 2 for the line of scrimmage, the 4-yard line in Columbia.
Let's get the back open.
Whoa, one-hand catch by Steve Ortman. Ortman has just scored his 3rd touchdown. On the other end of that pass from McGeehan.
McGeehan had the option rolling to his right to hit the receiver deep in the end zone. But he hit Ortman, who was isolated on 58. Here the moves into the end zone. He's rolling to his right. Ortman had just beaten number 58, Chris Riga. Well, anytime you get a back isolated on a linebacker and he's in the end zone, it's a terrific disadvantage for the linebacker. But he also had Bueller deep in the end zone open. Great option.
Tom Murphy will be attempting his 4th extra point of the first half. And he gets it. And as a result, Pennsylvania now jumps out to a 28-0 lead over Columbia with 21 seconds still remaining to be played in this first half here at Franklin Field in Philadelphia.
Well, I was incorrect. I said Penn didn't want to give Columbia back the football, but I forgot that they'd have to give it back if they scored.
Well, there's all kinds of possibilities for next week as Ivy League play. It's always an interesting affair because on any Saturday anybody can beat anybody. The schedule includes, for example, Brown coming in here at Franklin Field to meet Penn. Princeton will be at Columbia. Cornell is at Harvard and Dartmouth at Yale. And once you're back into total league play, everything becomes very important. And of course, that's 1 p.m. live next Saturday, October 13th on these Eastern Educational Network stations. And of course, check your listings in your local paper for
Well, how about going
details.
back to your old place, Yale, with Dartmouth and Yale both winning today so far? That might be the best game of the week. Of course, we don't make the decisions. I mean, the athletic directors of the Ivy League make it on Monday morning.
Right. No matter where we go, though, we'll see a good one. That will be a good one, though, Dartmouth and Yale. Picked up by Pennywell again. And again, Mr. Pennywell just leveled downfield quickly.
Of the teams we've seen so far this year, this is, forget the score if you can, this is the most aggressive football team I've seen in the Ivy League, and that includes Harvard. They just cover everything.
See how quickly Bob Chismar got downfield, number 54. The special team coverage is also just outstanding, along with everything else for the University of Pennsylvania. Santos cannot get the ball away. It's really, he was coming forward in the motion to pass, as Ken Coombs was the one to rush. There's the drive, 9 plays, 87 yards, touchdown pass to Steve Ortman. 2 minutes and 44 seconds time of possession on that drive.
You call the signals and you get 1 step away from the line of scrimmage and Coombs is in your face, and that is happening practically on every play to the point of when he gets good protection, he doesn't expect it.
Line of scrimmage at the 17-yard line. John Chirico, number 44.
Run the clock out and get in the locker room and hope you can start the second half on a more positive note.
And there is the end of the first half with the score. Pennsylvania 28, Columbia nothing. Here at Franklin Field in Philadelphia. Well, the way the scoring went in this first half of football, which was totally controlled and dominated by the University of Pennsylvania, Penn got on the scoreboard first at the 8-minute mark when Steve Ortman went in from 1 yard out. And that had been set up by a fumble recovery after Mitchell had fumbled for Columbia. Then Ortman scored again from the 1 in the second quarter. And Comizio scored from 7 yards out at 6:16 of the second quarter. McGeehan hit Ortman again with a 4-yard touchdown pass at 14:39. And that is the score at the half. Pennsylvania 28, Columbia nothing. And now here is a message from the president of Columbia University.
This is Columbia College, part of Columbia University in the city of New York. And I'm Michael Sovereign, president of the university. I've spent 33 years at Columbia. I started as an undergraduate. I like it here. Columbia College is the smallest residential college in the Ivy League. And we have on average only 8 students for every faculty member. Because the college is also part of a great university, our students are treated to a rare and wonderful world, a world of intellectual excitement. No one who wants to go to Columbia has to say, I can't, because of money. If we think a young man or woman belongs here, we provide the necessary help. We aspire to transmit the heritage of civilization, to enliven curiosity, to encourage joy in the presence of beauty, appreciation in the presence of wisdom, to discover, in Soroyan's words, that which shines and is beyond corruption. As I said, I like it here.
If there's anyone who knows anything about the history of the University of Pennsylvania and this stadium, it's the man sitting next to me, Upton Belf.
You know, many people have said that Yankee Stadium is the house that Babe Ruth built. But how about Franklin Field in football? This is the house that many great coaches and players built. In fact, if you go back into the early 20s, you've got John Heisman, one of the early coaches of the University of Pennsylvania. The Heisman Trophy is named after him and one of the most famous trophies in the United States. What about John Outland, a player here also in the 20s? Well, the trophy for the most valuable lineman in America is named after him. Great coaches, George Munger, Lud Ray, you can go on and on. My family's history is entwined in this great stadium. John Cromwell Bell III in 1897 was on the Walter Camp Rules Committee. Bert Bell, his son, when asked where he was going, his father said he's going to Penn or he's going to hell. And that he did in 1919 as the captain of the Penn's team that went on to the Rose Bowl. He threw the first pass in the Rose Bowl and lost a few of his teeth in the process. As we move along in the history of this great place, you talk about television. This was the first place where a televised game was done right from the upper deck on the other side of this beautiful stadium. What about sellouts? Well, a lot of people thought Michigan Notre Dame led the world in sellouts. No way. In the 40s and early 50s, an average of 70,000 people per game, a sellout for 7 straight years was the national record. Records, television, players, coaches, all of it here at Franklin Field. In 1940, Frank the Shark Reagan, All-American quarterback at Penn, brings them back from a 14-0 deficit on this fake pass and running play for a touchdown. Final score, 22-20. 1947, everybody's All-America Chuck Bednarik anchors a line with Skippy Manissi at the tailback. In this game versus Dartmouth, he runs for 65 yards and a touchdown. Manissi was one of the 3 All-Americans on the 47 team. In 1950, Francis Reds Bagnell, one of Penn's all-time great runners, in this game sets a total yardage record of 490 yards, national collegiate record for the year. '52, on a pass from Glenn Adams to All-American Eddie Bell down the right sideline, 65 yards and a touchdown. It ties the game against Notre Dame. 1955 on the opening kickoff versus the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. 107 yards Frank Ripple runs for the longest kickoff return in history. As he makes his final cut, number 8, Paul Hornung, the All-American and Heisman Trophy winner from Notre Dame, misses the tackle. In 1959, Penn wins its first official outright Ivy title, and Captain Barney Berliner catches a touchdown in the end zone with 16 seconds left against Cornell. Penn wins the game 28-13. 1983, present-day quarterback John McGeehan throws a long pass down the sideline to Rich Sirik. Again, McGeehan on a beautiful pitch to Stan Cross, who tiptoes down the sidelines and into the end zone for 6 big ones.
Well, in addition to its long participation in intercollegiate athletics, Penn has also had a tradition of pioneering research.
The computer age was launched in 1946 when ENIAC, the world's first all-electronic large-scale general-purpose digital computer, was unveiled at Penn. 4 decades later, Penn continues to expand the frontiers of computer research. Penn Engineering Dean Joseph Bordogna.
Robotics is an intriguing area of technology today because we can use robots to emulate what human beings do, how they see, touch, hear, smell, and so on. And of course, all of this is very important in industrial technology.
In a Penn lab, research is being conducted into computer perception for use in future household and industrial robots. Stereo cameras mounted on a movable platform and a robot finger enable the computer to use both sight and touch to identify objects. Once an object is identified, the computer can grasp and manipulate it with a specially designed mechanical hand. Researchers are also working on computer-generated images, such as this 3D image of a living patient's skull. The image can be sectioned to show internal structure, to aid doctors in clinical diagnosis and surgical planning.
The big thrust of robotics research now is essentially in those areas called computer and cognitive sciences, in which we are trying to determine how people really think, and then ultimately how to emulate that in a machine.
We're back here at halftime at Franklin Field. A beautiful day here in Philadelphia, and the score at halftime, Pennsylvania 28 and Columbia nothing. Just moments ago, we saw a lovely history piece, the history of Penn football, and we're here with one of the great legends in Penn football history, Mr. Reds Bagnell. Reds, we just saw you running a couple of moments ago. I want to talk first about the game against Dartmouth in 1950 here at Franklin Field, when you went for 490 yards of total offense, setting a record. That must have been an amazing day for you.
Did you just show that one, Sean? Well, it was a great day for Pennsylvania and for our team and for me as an individual. There's no question about it. The game started out rather normally, you know. The first half, I think, was 7-7, and then both Penn and Dartmouth got their offenses going, and the final score was 42-28. So it was a pretty doggone good football game all the way.
You've remained very actively involved with Penn football over the years, involved in the Maxwell Football Club. Tell us about the Maxwell Club.
Well, the Maxwell Football Club is a service organization here in Philadelphia, started in 1937. We give a national award each year to the Player of the Year, the College Player of the Year, and we give the Bert Bell Award to the Professional Football Player of the Year. And we service duties. Our duties include working with high school football primarily in the Philadelphia area through sports medicine clinics, and try to keep them when they get hurt, try to help them get the proper care is what we want to do. And we have a lot of support from the folks here in Philadelphia. We could use more, obviously, but the city fathers support us and the universities support us, and it's going very well.
As an alumnus of Penn and somebody who is actively involved, you've got to be very pleased with the current state of affairs of Penn football.
Well, I love Pennsylvania, and I've been a kid who grew up here in West Philadelphia when I was a youngster and went to Penn, and I'm a very loyal alumnus, yes, and I think the way our intercollegiate athletic program is being run today is a very proper way to run it. And with Mr. Hackney, President Dr. Hackney here, and Charles Harris, and then down to our coach, Jerry Byrne.
Well, Reg, you look like you could go out there and run for 490 more yards again today. You and Joanne, your lovely wife, continue to enjoy the ball game. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Sean, for having us. Enjoyed it.
Reg Bagnell, one of the great legends here at Penn football, and he still could go out there today and rush for 490, I'm sure. Let's go back upstairs.
Upton Bell, 490 yards rushing. Incredible. Just to listen to that.
Are you talking about me rushing for 490? No, not me, but there's a lot of rushing and passing in the highlights.
All right, we're going to take a look at the scoring here in the first half. Pennsylvania, of course, which is dominating. See the man in motion on this play. And McGinn just takes and he hands off, and that's Mr. Ortman, Steve Ortman, who just hurdles over the top, and that gave Penn.
Great thrust by the offensive line, too. Here's Camizio taking a handoff and breaking it to the outside, Dick. Again, good penetration by the offensive line, but great leg movement by Camizio.
Has all that shiftiness of a great runner and that running sense. It's something you really don't teach. He just has it instinctively. Number 42, Rich Camizio. And they go straight up that middle. And the sophomore who just came into the game, Steve Alexic, he scored that touchdown from 1 yard out. Just came into the game for that play. That was his first play of the ball game. That gave Penn a 14-0 lead.
What we're really seeing is power football by Penn. This time it was kind of a misdirection play. Camizio again for the touchdown. We're seeing all short scoring plays by Penn because they moved it well in the air to get down there. So Penn power really offensively and defensively in the lines has been the difference in this game. They've just really dominated Columbia totally.
Truth of the matter is we are not seeing anything we did not expect, and this will tell it all up on the scoreboard, up on the screen right now, where you see first downs 10-4, and look at that rushing yardage statistic: 131 yards for Penn, 0 yards for Columbia. Passing 69-58, and turnovers 2 each. And again, look at the time of possession, almost equal. But the score is what tells the story, 28-0.
That's because Columbia got the ball back a lot. I think that the whole story is in the rushing yards. Again, no game is won by any team that can at least rush halfway decently on the ground. And Penn just 131 yards ahead of Columbia, no yards whatsoever for Columbia. That's really the story of the game.
Let's kind of eavesdrop now on a great group of young people, the University of Pennsylvania Band. halftime, as evident by what you are seeing on the screen, and it's a happy crowd because with the score on the board, Pennsylvania 28, Columbia nothing.
You know, there used to be an old tradition with the great marching bands at Penn when they had their great teams back in the late 40s and early 50s. The drum major, they always try to find a 6'3", 6'4" drum major, and the only thing he or she had to do was make sure that they caught the baton when they went under the goalpost. They'd march the band out under the goalpost, the baton master would throw it up in the air. If he caught it, they won. If they didn't catch it, they would lose.
And down on the sideline for an update in scores around the country, Sean McDonough.
Some scores from around the nation. In the third quarter, Auburn and Mississippi are tied at 10. Penn State leads Maryland in the third quarter 14-3. Same score, 14-3. Pitt leading East Carolina. They are now in the fourth quarter. North Carolina State leads Georgia Tech 17-10. That is in the fourth quarter. Missouri shutting out Colorado 24-0. They're through 3 quarters of play. It's Texas Tech 10 and Texas A&M 6. That's in the third quarter of that traditional rivalry. Michigan State, in a surprise, leads Michigan 13-7 at halftime. North Carolina and Clemson are tied at 3. South Carolina leads Kansas State 21-10. And in the second quarter, it is Florida 10 and Syracuse nothing.
And back here, thanks for the update on the scores and some surprise and not so surprising scores around the country in this beautiful afternoon here in the East anyway in Philadelphia.
Well, as you can see, the students are having a great time here. They're really not concerned about the scores.
Down on the sideline once again, Sean McDonough has a man who has done a great job at what he does.
I'm here with the athletic director of Penn, Charles Harris. Charles, you're going to be very happy with the way things went for your football club in the first half.
Well, I'll tell you what, anytime you're ahead 28-0 and you only have one half to go, you can't be but so disappointed. I think the team is obviously playing well after rebounding from last week, and you know, we're just pleased to be where we are.
We spoke moments ago with Reds Bagdell, and I know you're very appreciative not only of Red's work, but of the great help that you get from many fine alumni.
Well, I don't think there's any question that the strength of any great university is first of all its students, and secondly those persons who graduate and go on to become alums. Penn has a good, strong alumni body, and we've had a lot of support from them in rebuilding our program and trying to be a stable, committed program to long-term success.
Our first Ivy League broadcast this year was at Columbia. As you know, we saw a beautiful new Wien Stadium. And I know there's some renovation going on here at historic Franklin Field.
Well, we're about halfway through a $6 million facelift, and it's going to take us another couple of years to get it done because of the number of events that we have in here. But when we finish, I think we'll have one of the first-class facilities of this type in the country. Obviously, Franklin Field has a rich tradition, and this is one of the things that we look at that will simply ensure that future for us.
So much talk about how much emphasis the Ivy League schools should place on athletics. Are you satisfied with the emphasis placed on athletics in the Ivy League currently?
Well, I think looking at our program, there are 8,000 undergraduates here, and we have just about 1,000 of them who participate in varsity athletics, over 30 sports. I think as much as anything, that's an indication of an interest that students have. What we try to do is provide a broad-based program that provides a range of competitive opportunities, recognizing everybody can't be a football player or a 6'8" basketball player. So with our program, our focus has been to try to offer a little bit of everything, and we're fortunate, and if I say so myself, in winning 24, 25 championships in the last 3 years, we feel like we're doing something right anyhow.
Indeed, you are, Charles. Your football team looks great out here today. Thanks very much for taking the time out to talk to us.
Sean, thank you.
That's Charles Harris, the athletic director here at the University of Pennsylvania. Now let's go back to the booth.
And let's take a look at some other scores happening around the league today.
That one we've seen enough of.
And then Brown out in front of Princeton now by 3 in the second quarter. Bucknell leading Cornell 10-3. Dartmouth Holy Cross, that's a tie, and that's a surprise.
A very big surprise, because Harvard, you figured, was one of the strongest teams in the league, and here we've got a game with Holy Cross with maybe their best team, and it's 7-7.
Well, Yale's trying to get on track, is trying to win their first one out in front of Morgan State, 21-0. And here at Franklin Field, this is Murphy getting set to kick off to the University of Pennsylvania to open things up in the second half. A little bit of a collision, but hangs on and across the 25 and up to the 30-yard line with Jeff Fortnett, the ball carrier that time, number 30, a sophomore. from Leona, Pennsylvania. 28-0 is the halftime score as we begin play in the third period. John McGeehan, 69 yards, passing total, 1 interception, 1 touchdown throw. The rest has been on the ground for Penn.
And no pressure.
No pressure. And looking wide open is Lyle Hennigan, brought down by Paulo Castro at the 41-yard line. But Hennigan, the co-captain and tight end for Penn, wide open.
They're back again to throwing on first down, and that was really a sprint play action. He gave the tight end time to get open on the right-hand side, right in behind the linebackers. Beautifully executed. There's no way you're going to stop that.
High formation, first down and 10 at the 41 of Columbia. O'Neal, number 5, the fullback in the lineup. And Ortman gets the call, and he is inside the 25 to the 22. 23 is where they say his knee touched. Paulo Castro brings him down.
Ortman can thank number 5, Mike O'Neal, for a great block. Here's Ortman from the I position, the tailback, takes the handoff. Great block by number 5, rolls his man down, and Ortman just breaks it outside. Paulo Castro really makes a tackle, although Ortman was on his way down. But number 5, Mike O'Neal, made a great block on that play, sprung him loose.
Ortman now has around 70 yards rushing in the ball game after that 17-yard pickup. Close to the 21-yard line. Moynihan in there with a hit. Paulo Castro with the hit, number 2 and number 3.
All the Penn backs all look to cut it back. The first thing that they're doing is they're starting outside. Either way is looking for that cutback.
Picks up about 3 on the play, so that makes it 2nd and 7 at the 21. Ortman and O'Neal in the backfield. In the eye.
Checking off.
Checks off, fires out to the flat, complete. Lyle Hennigan again takes it inside the 5. Lyle Hennigan, the tight end.
He's just literally so strong. Quarterback now, Hennigan, makes the catch. Watch him break the tackle. He's carry the ball like a loaf of bread, but he's so big and strong at 215 pounds. He has no match. Now watch the blocking by the guard here. Keeping his man out, number 62 for Penn. Beautiful block.
First down, goal to go from the 4-yard line. Pennsylvania knocking on the door once again. Columbia just having a tough time trying to contain. Matt Bueller in motion. Too much time. And you see McGeehan step away, irritated.
I think McGeehan, as he did when he checked off on that pass to Hennigan, McGeehan again was looking at the defense and he saw a different type of front. And want to check off to somebody else. That's how he got too much time. Here comes the play in again from Jerry Burt.
Winslow Cervanti checks into the lineup, number 53, the inside linebacker, second team All-Ivy a year ago for Columbia. So the penalty yardage is assessed, and it's now a 1st and goal to go from the 9. Penalties. Penn has been penalized 4 times for 27 yards. Now they go to a full house backfield. Shift out of that, put the man in motion, and again we have a problem. He's trying to run a play that is causing confusion.
He didn't like the offensive formation, didn't like the defensive formation.
Now that's Steve Alexic that went in motion, the sophomore who's really getting his first real playing time today, and who has a touchdown, number 36. And when he shifted out of that full house and moved, you saw McGeehan step away. Something was wrong.
You don't want that to happen 2 times in a row. I don't care what the score is, because someday when the score is close and you're down there and you have that happen, that can lose your ball game.
Let's go, man. Let's go, man.
Let's go with were they 55 that time?
No,
trips left, T35. 34, T34. Trips left, T34.
You hear the coach calling trips left, which means that there'll be 3 people lined out to either side as wide receivers. Maybe he's going to put them in as 3 running backs and still run the football. You try to get enough strength away from the formation.
It'll still be a 1st and goal to go from the 9 here in the 3rd quarter.
There are all his receivers out to the left-hand side.
Pat Bueller, number 83 on the far left side. O'Neal, the lone back, he gets the call right up the middle. O'Neal takes it to the 5-yard line. Mazzarini in there on the tackle.
That play, Dick, is so effective down this close because by moving your receivers outside and Camizio and one of your other backs into the slot, you're spreading that defense and setting it up for the guy to come right off the center's butt.
It is second down, goal to go from the 5 for Pennsylvania. Hartman, the ball carrier, gets it down to the 2. Mazzarini hanging out from behind, number 66. Hartman trying to cut it up and in.
Fake to one back, the handoff to Ortman. Ortman's looking to get outside. He almost makes it here. He's just tripped up.
Third down, goal to go from the 2. Ortman, the deep back in the eye, number 32. O'Neal, number 5, the up back. End zone touchdown. Found his man. The co-captain tight end who caught 2 passes on this drive downfield. That was the 3rd for the touchdown.
Hennigan sets this up beautifully off of play action, fakes to both backs, rolls to his right, gives Hennigan the chance to clear in the end zone behind the safety in the corner. Hennigan also has the size of 6'2". He's 3 or 4 inches bigger than the other people. But the quarterback set it up by beautiful faking.
Now kicking. Fernando Beccatini, and he gets it through, and it's 35 for Pennsylvania, nothing for Columbia. Beccatini getting his first shot this afternoon as the kicker of extra points.
I'm glad you're pronouncing that name and not me. That was, again, Penn moved the ball by running it very well and then mixed a little bit of the pass in. That time, fine fake to both backs, rolled away from the pressure, gave the tight end a chance to come across the back line of the end zone. Much bigger than both other people. They're just very superior. That's all I can say.
And Hennigan with that TD reception, that's his 3rd TD reception.
So take a look again at the faking of the quarterback. Well, he's already made his fake, but he's going to hit Hennigan right in the corner of the end zone. As you can see, he has both men beat, both the deep safeties of Columbia, number 2, Paula Castro.
And the kickoff comes down to the 5-yard line. Pennywell of Columbia brings it out to around the 25. Murphy was kicking off for Penn, number 1. That touchdown drive consumes 72 yards and 3:36 on the clock. 7 plays, and with the pass from McGinn to Lal Hennigan, the co-captain, his 3rd TD reception of the season in the 3rd game. McGinn is 6 for 6 and 88 yards, 1 touchdown in his last 6 attempts since the interception. Al Gonzalez, the ball carrier for Columbia, punches up to about the 30-yard line.
Now you're going to find out the way your offensive team reacts, and really what they want to do is try to come out of this game with accomplishing something positive, even for next week.
Over the middle, complete. Good reception by Milam, and Milam picks up the first down at the 44-yard line of Columbia.
There's still great pressure being put on by number 79 for Penn, Tom Gilmore. He had a little more time to throw, and that was just nothing more than a little tight end delay, and that's about it. He's only going to have a second or two to get the ball off.
Talk about silence. Where is this man now for Columbia? Darrell Mitchell. We haven't seen him. First down at the 44. Chirico, the ball carrier, up to midfield, close to the midfield stripe. That'll be second down at about 5 for the first down.
There's the man that caught the touchdown. Lyle Hennigan, one of the co-captains. a little happy.
Santos' passing statistics, he's passed 13 times, attempted to, completed 6 for 72 yards. He has no interceptions, no touchdowns.
They're all up on the line. Here they come.
And he gets sacked. He gets the ball away, but the play is blown dead. As blowing in there is Steve Pisano, the defensive left end for Penn, number 93, the senior out of Revere, Massachusetts.
He came from the outside totally untouched, and this is the same problem that Columbia had with Harvard. The outside backer or defensive end in that defense was always coming free, and when you're trying to block out of a one-back offense, you have nobody in there to protect the quarterback. He's going to get killed.
That's Pisano's 4th sack, and this is the 3rd game of the season. Now 13 yards to go for that first down for Columbia. It's 3rd down as well. Line of scrimmage, the 42.
Here they come.
Chirico on the other end of that pass. Gets to midfield, but it's far short of the first down. Short by about 5 yards.
Dick, I believe that's the first time that Columbia, to take the pressure off the Penn rush, has used a screen pass. He's taking his time. He sets it up over top of the defense. Almost gets intercepted to Chirico. Chirico makes a nice run here, breaks a few tackles, but not enough for a first down, as you said.
Murphy's averaging 37 yards a punt this afternoon in 6 punts. Here's Chambers back there for Penn. No fair catch signal. 15, 20, 25, 30. One man Murphy to beat. Tripped up by Murphy, and down he goes at the 41.
What is so impressive about Chambers, number 22, is A, he won't fair catch, and B, he gets a running start, and we'll take a look at it. A running start, cuts in behind the wall. That's the way he uses his blockers, and then he turns on the speed. He knows there's one man left, and that's the punter, and you notice the punter doesn't want a big piece of Tim Chambers.
13, Eric Rutherford is in the ball game in a receiver spot wide, out there wide, and now Jerry Burnt's going to his bench. That's Bob Andrews, who came in at tailback now for Pennsylvania, number 23, the ball carrier.
Here's Bob Andrews, one of the new horses into the game. He picks up right where everybody else left off the right side of that offensive line for about 6 yards. He looks pretty quick himself. Of course, they all do when the score's like this.
Chambers has 5 punt returns today for over 105 yards. 2nd down and 4. Alexic inside the 35 for Penn to the 33-yard line.
There's everybody's All-American. He had a little black under his eyes, but that isn't somebody giving him a black eye. That's to use it for the sun reflection.
We also have a new quarterback for the first time this afternoon for Pennsylvania, number 17, Chris Zielinski, a senior from Blue Bell, Pennsylvania. 3rd down and 2 at the 34 of Columbia. Andrews, the ball carrier, flag on the play. And Andrews gets close to the first down. Chris Guth, 57, rides him down.
It's got to be holding on Columbia. They're pointing to Penn.
Zielinski, by the way, has no statistics passing.
He might get some today. Here comes all the new players in for Penn. They just keep running them in and out. We could have Reg Magnell up here. We're telling him he's got a machine here now.
Well, you have Sean Prosser, 81, in at tight end for the first time this afternoon.
Home on the offense.
Ryan Moyer also in at wide out at number 8 is his number for Penn on this 3rd down and 12.
He's going to get his first chance.
Off the fingertips of Comizio. Rich Comizio, who does everything so well.
How could you jinx this poor guy? You said he didn't complete a pass yet. Here he had his chance, and Comizio drops the ball.
Well, you're the one that said that his statistics will certainly.
That's right. Here we go on the replay. Here's his first opportunity to complete it. Comizio catch the ball. It's a little bit behind him, but he should have caught it.
It is 4th down, and Pennsylvania is going to punt. Sam Coroniti, the senior punter, standing at his own 42. And that's in the end zone and out the back. Coroniti had 2 punts for an average of 29 yards in the ball game prior to that one. If you've just joined us, it's Pennsylvania 35 and the Columbia Lions nothing.
No roar from the Lions today. I'd like to see the Lions' second quarterback in there, number 13, Peter Murphy, who threw the ball pretty well against Harvard when Santos got hurt in the opening game. Might be a good time to take a look at him throwing the ball.
By the way, Coroniti just boomed one for 44 yards on that last punt. Well, we have a little confusion down on the line of scrimmage. Want to change the ball? That was John Plaisted, the center for Columbia, who wanted a different ball in there.
Probably wants a different score, too. That we can, the new ball, we can help him with. The score, we can't.
Can't do a thing about that. Out wide on the left side for Columbia. That's John Garrett. Now, they have not attempted to throw to him today. Francisconi. It's complete and close to a first down. Chambers drives him out of bounds. It'll depend on where they say he stepped out.
That's one of the few times you'll see them throw in Tim Chambers' area. You know, he led the country for a while in interceptions the last couple of years, and as a result, nobody would throw into his area.
Inches for the first down now, so Columbia has second down and inches. Chirico gets the call, and he gets the first down to the 35-yard line. That's where Columbia will have a first down. Joe Lorenz making the tackle, the nose tackle for Penn, 51. First downs, Penn has 14, Columbia has 6 in the ball game.
Here they come, all of them.
And over the middle, but Bradley's right there hanging on just as the receiver is hanging on.
That time they faked the blitz. Yeah, they faked the blitz. They saw the delay, put the pressure on the quarterback, force him to get rid of it. They're going to get penalized, and on top of it, Bradley makes a great play.
But you know, the thing is, from the snap of the ball, Santos was doing nothing but looking right in that direction at Upperco to throw in that direction, and Garrett had run a nice pattern down here on the sideline on the left-hand side.
Problem is, when you're getting rushed like that, the only thing you want to look to is the closest body so you can get it.
10-yard hold on the offense. Repeat the down.
Now some scores. You have Brown over Princeton at the half, 13-10. And you have Bucknell leading Cornell at the half, 10-7. Here at Franklin Field, it's 1st and 20 for Columbia at the 25, their own 25.
Pressure.
Over that middle, it is complete. Mark Milam, he takes it across to the 37-yard line. Dwayne Hewlett, 18, the cornerback on that left side, making the stop. Looking at scores, Holy Cross out in front of Dartmouth by 3 at the half. 7-0 Army leads Harvard in the second quarter. Yale leading Morgan State 27-0 at the half. And our score here in the third quarter with 3:46 remaining, 35-0 Penn over Columbia. Santos 9 for 16 passing, 103 yards. Has 2nd and 8.
And pressure.
And he has a man, Milam, wide open at the 45. Gets to the 47-yard line, picks up a first down. Well, Milam has picked up the first down.
But there's one thing that Penn defense knows, with the score being 35-0 and the pressure that they're putting on the quarterback, sending somebody from the outside all the time, they'll be happy to let you have the rest of the game this way, because by the time you score, you watch the shot to Milam here with a lot of pressure on Santos, the game's over.
Chirico can't gain an inch as he just is smothered. Ken Coombs, and the man who smothered him, number 97.
One of the things that this Penn defense tries to do, their up front men try shift the ball carrier, everything into the linebackers, and that's why Bradley makes so many tackles. The same way with some of their other people back there, O'Connor and Walker. Everything is kind of sifted to the linebackers.
That was Milam's 5th reception as he trots to the sidelines for Columbia. He has 59 yards in receptions.
10-yard holding on the offense.
How many holding penalties? At least 5.
An awful lot. And again, this is the second time we've seen Columbia now, and the penalties have hurt them just as it did in the first game of the season. First down and 20. Jimmy Henderson, the ball carrier, and he's just nailed behind the line of scrimmage. That's O'Connor. Gavin O'Connor, number 20, is there.
Gavin O'Connor had actually beaten the man at the line of scrimmage across the line, and he and the offensive lineman met Henderson in the backfield. Now, I'm telling you, that takes some doing to do that.
And Chambers came up so quickly from his cornerback position. He also had a piece of it.
That's why I honestly believe that the screens and draws should really settle down a team defensively when they're doing this to you.
2nd and 23 now.
Here they come again.
Chirico gets it to the 42-yard line and very close to a first down. He had 23 yards to make. Ross Armstrong, 41, brought him down. First down, Columbia.
Well, here's the screen to Chirico, and this is what I think they should have been doing all day long. He's dropping straight back. He's letting the pressure come to him. He dumps it off to Chirico. Chirico's got people out in front of him. Nice block by number 77. Chirico follows him. He's tackled almost a first down, or did he make the first down?
He made the first down. 23-yard pickup on the play. Upperco over the middle, complete at the 31-yard line of Pennsylvania. Armstrong made the hit, and what a hit. Chirico has 22 yards in receptions, number 44 for Columbia.
Santos drops straight back. He's giving Upperco time to clear. That's where he's been open, if he's going to get open all day long, is right in the middle of that zone, because all the pressure put on up front, there's a hole there, and that's what they've been trying to do, is get it to him, but they haven't had time.
31-yard line now with the first down. Columbia with the ball at the Penn 31. Chirico can't slide off and find any running room there. Penn closes it down quickly. Yep. Dexter Desir there, and Tom Gilmore, who leads the team in tackles.
That's a great name, isn't it? Dexter Desir? Well, they just call him Desire.
I'm sure that there are plenty of people who do. He's only a sophomore out of Silver Springs, Maryland. 6 feet, 235-pounder. Second down and 9 now at the 30. Columbia in the white uniforms, trailing 35-0. 40 seconds to play in the third quarter.
They're moving up in all the holes. Here they come.
Upperco again, and Upperco this time inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Wayne Hewlett made the initial hit for Pennsylvania. Chirico now has 8 carries and 21 yards in the ball game.
That time Santos did a great job at getting rid of the ball.
The deepest penetration that Columbia has made in this football game to the 18-yard line of Penn. Jimmy Henderson, and he is tripped up by Timmy Chambers, who just came flying up from the cornerback position, knocked him off his feet.
Jimmy Chambers beat the right guard, Len Genova, in the backfield again. This is the 3rd time today that their defensive people have beaten the people into the backfield.
And with that play, the third quarter comes to an end, and with the score, Pennsylvania leading Columbia 35-0. We're going to pause just a moment in our coverage of this game with the Quakers and the Lions.
Ivy League football is brought to you by the Travelers, the same people who have provided value in insurance and financial services for over a century. The Travelers, where fairness is good business. GTE, the company that can provide complete telecommunications networks for voice as well as data. This is the Eastern Educational Network.
This is your station in the Delaware Valley, Channel 12 WHYY-TV, the station that makes a difference.
And we have the first play of the fourth quarter coming up, and Columbia will have a 2nd down and 10 on the 18-yard line of Pennsylvania, trying to put points up on the board for the first time this afternoon.
Come on, Lions, roar. Give us some excitement.
I'm looking at a sign across the field that says, "Quakes make good lion tamers." 3rd down conversions. Penn is 4 for 8. Columbia 2 of 9.
Backside.
Goes over the middle and incomplete, looking for Francis Koenig. That's Chambers back there covering on the play.
What a terrible shot from the backside Henry Santos took. He is going to be so sore tomorrow. He's dropping back and has no idea. At the top of your screen, you can see the crunch he takes from both sides. He almost completes this ball, by the way. You know, he's made some really great throws today. There's Tim Chambers, who was part of the action, but he's made some great throws today.
All right, 2nd down and 10 at the 18-yard line. Wide on both sides, Columbia. Goes out to the flat. It's complete to John Garrett at the 12-yard line. Short of the first down, however. Hewlett driving him out of bounds. Dwayne Hewlett, number 18.
He had him man for man. Fine throw by Santos. It's the most difficult throw across the field. Right on the break, he made it, and it was a fine throw. You've got to admire what Santos has done here today. I have never seen a quarterback under so much pressure get rid of the ball and do a good job.
This is 4th down now. 4th down and 6 at the 13-yard line. Columbia trying to get point. Look at the pursuit. Sacked back to the 25-yard line. Gavin O'Connor. O'Connor just came flying in, number 20 for Pennsylvania, and put him back on a 4th and 6 to the 25.
They have not solved this yet since the Harvard game. From the backside, number 20, Gavin O'Connor. Nobody blocks him. Santos doesn't have a chance to get the ball off. They just have not been able to block this play, Dick, in the 2 times we've seen Columbia play this year. I just wonder why you don't keep somebody in if you're going to do that, because that's the only way you're going to protect it.
They got to the 18. It was their deepest penetration and wound up on the 25. Penn with the ball. That's Stan Koss in the lineup for Penn, number 26, fullback. Gets up to the 25-yard line. 2nd down and 8 for the first down.
Here's a telling stat. Penn 4 sacks, 37 yards.
Minus.
And what doesn't tell the story is there's probably another 10 pressures in this game. You don't need to always get to the quarterback. Just make him get rid of the ball.
And again, it's Selitsky at quarterback for Penn, number 17. Koss gets the call again. Goes across the 30-yard line, picks up 5 on the play. It'll be about 2 yards, 3 yards short of the first down. Scott Squingio goes into the lineup for the University of Pennsylvania, number 87.
That's what I love when these scores get high, all these names you can't pronounce.
Just throw out everything you have and pick up the score sheet and the roster. 3rd down and 2. Andrews again. Andrews at the 45.
Andrews really burst through that hole. Both guards were pulling, and he followed right in behind the pulling guard. He really is quick, this kid. I'm glad we had a chance to see him. Handoff, nice handoff to Andrews. Burst right through the hole. Kind of a slashing type of runner with a lot of speed. He even makes a nice nosedive there.
Penn shows the eye with the first down at the 47. Their own. Andrews, number 23. He's brought down at midfield. Tony Tutrone, number 91, in on the hit, along with Jim Porter, the middle guard, number 64 for Columbia.
How about Andrews right, Andrews left instead of student body right, student body left? He is really quick. You know, we didn't really hear a lot about this kid because they have so many other good running backs, and they really love Camizio, but this kid can really move.
He has 3 carries and 24 yards. Second down and 7. And he slips back at the 48-yard line.
There goes his average.
Chris Riga in there, number 58, and Hart's in there for Columbia on the hit. Moves the ball back. Third down and a long 8 for the first down. Ball at the 48-yard line. 11:39 to play in the football game. 35-0. Pennsylvania leading Columbia.
Are you going to jinx Hylinski this time? Or are you going to help him make a completion?
You assured me that his passing statistics would increase. Third down and 9. Hylinski has Rutherford wide open for the completion. And he takes it to the 25-yard line. Chris Zielinski, the senior from Bluebell, Pennsylvania, gets his first completion. Ron Hart's brought him down. Rutherford.
Nice catch by Rutherford, and beautiful pattern that he ran right between the two backs. And my good friend, the quarterback, put it right on the nose. I knew if I talked to him enough, he'd finally complete.
He's your buddy now, huh?
Oh, love him. Anybody is 1 for 1, 1 for 2, 500.
Look at Andrews. He slides off so nicely as he's driven out of bounds by Rick Cavalli, number 8, cornerback, outside linebacker rather. Eric Rutherford, his first reception of the season was for 27 yards. And so, conversely, Hylinski's first pass completion of the season was for 27 yards.
It's tough for the team. Army is going to play Penn next week, as outside of the first quarter, they didn't see a heck of a lot of what Penn can really do, because Penn didn't really have to open up that much.
Second down and 6 now at the 22 of Columbia. Alexic, the ball carrier, he already has 1 touchdown in this game, and he drives it down close to the 5-yard line. Steve Alexic, a sophomore.
He went right off a right guard and slipped the man, slipped right underneath him. By the way, Coach Burt feels that Alexic is going to be their strongest back. He is their biggest back, but their strongest. They don't really have big people in the backfield. They're all kind of small and shifty and quick. This is their biggest player.
First and goal to go from the 6-yard line. Alexic gets the call, and he drives down to the 2. Dave Alexic. Chris Riga for Columbia on the bottom of the pile, 58.
Students want another touchdown so they can start for the parties early.
10 minutes to play in the football game. Second down and goal to go from the 2-yard line of Columbia as Pennsylvania comes out of the huddle. Alexic has 24 yards rushing and 1 touchdown so far in the ball game. Comizio in the lineup also, and in motion is Moyer. Comizio gets the call and does not get that ball over. He takes it down close to the goal line, but he's stacked up, does not get across. Tom Johnston's number 16 hit him first.
They put Hewlett in there on that play, and he just inches short.
Wayne Hewlett, number 43.
Here comes the full house tee.
Third down, goal to go from the 1. Zielinski, the quarterback, rolls out to the right, and he is not able to pitch, and he is going to be dropped back at the 3-yard line. Coming barreling in for Columbia was Tony Tutrone, number 91. And now it is 4th and goal to go from the 3, and you hear the student section here at Franklin Field.
Students are screaming, fellas, go or not? They say go, Dick.
Well, we're going to have to see, huh? What Jerry Burnt wants to do. He's got a command. He has a 35-0 lead. It's 4th and goal to go, and the coach is going to go.
Gutsy call, right?
4th and goal to go from the 3. Zielinski gives it to Stan Koss, and he is stacked up in the middle. You know what? I think he went because he knew he would be stopped, because he called a very basic play up the middle.
Well, I think he tried to fool them by the formation to the right, looking like they're going to roll out, and thought they might sucker them. And as you can see, they did not sucker anybody.
But I just think the coach, in his own heart, does not want to add any more to the score this afternoon. I really don't. There we have another score. Brown leading Princeton 13-10 in that 3rd quarter. And Bucknell over Cornell. That score holding in the 3rd. You have 20 for Holy Cross and 10 for Dartmouth now as Holy Cross starts to pull away in the third. And back here, we have 1st and 10 from the 3-yard line. Columbia deep again in their own territory. We have Pete Murphy at quarterback, and he wants to go downtown for Upperco, and he overthrows him. Upperco had beaten his man, had a couple of steps on his man. And down on the sidelines, we have Sean McDonough.
We're down here on the sidelines with one of the most colorful characters I have met in our 3 Ivy League games thus far this season. This is Coach Dan Staffieri. He's an honorary coach with Coach Jerry Byrne, and they tell me you're in charge of the motivation.
Yes, Coach, and I love it. And I want to thank Coach Byrne for giving me the opportunity to coach at Penn. And the most important thing in my life in 34 years of teaching and coaching that God gave me is to motivate and stimulate with supercharged and just try to get these people sky high for every game with esprit de corps. Esprit de corps, and that's one of the big secrets of motivation. Try to get the esprit de corps across to these people.
Well, one thing you can tell is that Dan's wearing part of his work. Cage the Lions, and Penn has certainly done that today. Let's go back to the game action. Thanks, Dan.
And here I thought Newton Rockney was dead.
And Murphy hit Milam with the pass, and Fortner just rode him down. They blow the play dead at the 7-yard line. The initial hit, he had driven him all the way back to the goal line. So it is 3rd down and 6 now for Columbia, as they've had their backs against the wall all afternoon. And Murphy overthrows Milam this time at the 20-yard line. Looking at the scoreboard once again, Army's out in front of Harvard 10-0 in the second period. And Yale now pulling away from Morgan State 34-0 in the third period. And here at Franklin Field, Penn overwhelming Columbia.
I want to get that coach back on from Penn, that sideline coach. I think all the Columbia players passed out when they heard him.
Murphy punting from his own end zone.
Nice punt.
That's a beauty. Ryan Moyer is going to take it in. And Moyer is ridden out of bounds by Pat Horn of the University of Pennsylvania, number 35.
We think about Penn all day long, Dick. They've only had a bad field position really once, and the one time that they did, they drove 80 yards for a touchdown.
We have Brown now out in front of Princeton 20-10 in the third period.
We had Princeton last week in a really barn burn against Bucknell. He thought Butler might rip them apart today.
Well, the new coach at Brown evidently, has something going for himself. Down 40, 16 in at quarterback now for Pennsylvania. 40 in at quarterback, and the ball carrier is Dwayne Hewlett, number 43. Jerry Byrne is sending the troops in this afternoon. Everybody gets a chance to play in this one. 6:45 left to go in this game. John Forty also has no statistics coming into this ball game for 1984.
We'll see if we can help him.
Alexic tries to get additional yardage. Citrone is there to hit him for Columbia.
I would think that the coach told him to keep the ball on the ground, wouldn't you?
I would think.
So he might not get a chance to pass. You won't have a chance to jinx this guy.
But then he could always say, well, I didn't really hear you, coach, because he wants to show that he can throw the ball, right?
Well, he's down on the 7th team. By Monday, he'll have heard him.
3rd down and 7 at the 44. Penn with the football. The crowd yells draw. And you have open territory for Dane Hewlett.
They couldn't get a hole any bigger. And I'll say one thing for him. He ran right through it. Here's the hole, the wedge right behind the left guard and the center. And Hewlett runs right in behind them. I mean, could you miss that hole?
No, I don't think so.
No way.
Another first down for the Penn Quakers. Hewlett, 3 carries, 27 yards. Second down again. He's inside the 20.
There is the quarterback, Mr. Redhead John McGeehan. He did have a fine game today. I mean, his stats are great, but he really ball handled very well. And he's happy.
Nice visit with him yesterday. Very pleasant young man.
Does he know he's posing for us?
Second down and 8 now at the 19. John Forty at quarterback, the third quarterback of the day for Pennsylvania. They go up the middle again. They're just running out the clock, just trying to consume as much time as they can, Pennsylvania.
He's a very happy man, Steve Wortman. They're all happy on Penn's side.
He should
really
be,
a good
right?
runner.
2 touchdowns today, Steve Wortman.
Good kickoff returner.
He does everything.
And smiles too.
Well, that's your play, Upton.
I like it.
I saw you do that play in the hotel lobby last night.
That's called confusion for 10 yards and a first down. Oh, I love it. Students love it too. There you are. He's confused, and so's the defense.
We're at a fourth down and about 7 or 8 inches, I guess, Upton for the first down.
I like that play. Run it again. Students are yelling slow-mo.
Yeah. Inches for the first down on this fourth down. Okay, Hewlett. And Hewlett picks up the first down. That's his 4th carry of the ball game.
You know, when you have a blowout, every back looks like Lenny Moore.
Yeah.
Every back looks like Calvin Hill. They all look like they can go. And that really, all the backs run well for Penn, but the offensive line, no matter who they have in there, has really done the job.
I saw Calvin Hill have a great game in this stadium against Penn when he was in his senior year at Yale. First and goal to go from the 6. Pennsylvania driving again. Moyer in motion. Hewlett gets the call. He fumbles, and Columbia recovers the football. And Rick Cavalli, the outside linebacker, number 8, stops the drive. And we have 3 minutes to play in the football game with Pennsylvania leading Columbia 35-0.
That was almost a linebacker's dream. If he had looked up and not stumbled, he'd gone all the way.
Now, with this commanding lead, we're going to pause right now for a message of special interest.
Hello, I'm Philip Stevens of GTE. If you make advertising or underwriting decisions for your company, I'd like to ask you to consider joining us as a corporate underwriter of the Ivy League Game of the Week. By doing so, you'll be endorsing the fine example the league sets in striking an appropriate balance between scholarship and athletics. You'll also be reaching an influential audience, favorably and efficiently, and you'll be helping public television. If your company can benefit from this kind of exposure, call Barry Frank at 212-832-4997 and join us on the Ivy League Game of the Week.
Really, I think it'd be a good idea to join us and join us next week and all through the year, and your contributions to Ivy League football and this programming would be well appreciated. Now, to do this, you got to call our good friend Barry Frank at area code 212-832-4997. All you corporate presidents that are watching today, just think of the excitement. 35-0 they're down, and everybody's still having a lot of fun here.
Especially the corporate presidents out there, huh? Who are Penn alumni.
Yeah, but one lost his company, the other one's on his way up. I mean, just one of those days it happens.
First down, Columbia. And as has been the case so many times this afternoon, their backs against their wall. They've been practically in their own end zone all day. Very poor field position because Penn has kept them there. Murphy quarterbacking for Columbia. Just go for broke now. And
he's out there.
Man, he's got him complete. Johnny Pennywell. John Pennywell, the sophomore from Indianapolis, Indiana. Finally dragged down by Jude Driscoll, number 9.
He just ran a fly pattern and beat everybody. The corner, the safety. Of course, Penn had put the blitz on. They're putting pressure on. You know, I like this kid, Murphy. It's easy to say it, right, when it's 35-0, but I like him. When he came in the Harvard game, he threw well. He has a very strong arm. He's a better thrower than runner, but I'd like to see more of him. And I'm going to see it for the next 3 minutes.
First down now at the 38-yard line of Penn. Murphy is 2 for 4, by the way, for 61 yards. You hear that? Hit somebody.
He's trying to.
And there comes Pennsylvania. They hit somebody. That's Conlon that came flying in there. Jeff Fortner, rather. Jeff Fortner was the first to hit him, and then everybody else got a shot at him.
I think we've got another holding, too, on top of it. He's trying to drop straight back, but he's got to avoid the rush, and then all of a sudden, crunch. That's been such a factor. Both quarterbacks knowing that when they're dropping or even
10-yard holding on the offense, decline.
To always know that there's going to be a crowd around you, and to know after a while you're going to have to get rid of it so quickly. The only pattern really to throw is the one that they just threw before that. A deep pattern, lay it out there, and hope the guy catches it.
Second down, 19 for Columbia. Again, the line of scrimmage, the 48 of Pennsylvania. John Pennywell out there wide on the right side. Pete Murphy, the quarterback. 6'2", 190-pound junior. John Chirico on the draw. Chirico and stumbles and falls and goes out of bounds at the 14-yard line of Penn.
And that's the way you beat the rush and the blitz. And he might have tripped on this. Out of the I formation, it's a draw. They set it up beautifully. He's broken to the outside. He looks like the galloping ghost, and he stumbles on the turf. See, when it goes wrong, it really goes wrong.
Well, here they are at the 14-yard line. This is now the deepest penetration of the day for Columbia. The 18 had been the mark previously.
Here they come.
This time, Murphy gets out. He takes off. Well, he gets around the 6-yard line where he's driven out of bounds. Bob Chismar, number 54. Chirico for Columbia, number 44, has 9 carries in the ball game for 54 yards. We have received no word, but Daryl Mitchell is either injured.
I just think that they decided in the beginning that they're going to take him out and go with Chirico and try to do some things short. And early they were doing that. I honestly believe a team that is patient enough, has a little better offensive line that picks up this blitzing tactics of Penn, could really burn them.
All right, Murphy sees something defensively that he doesn't like, so it's timeout for Columbia with a 2nd down and 2 from the 6-yard line of Pennsylvania, trailing 35-0. There's a minute and a quarter left in the game. This young man, we're only speculating, of course, may earn himself a start. I think when you come out of the ball game today and you're 0-3, it's not panic time on a season, but in a 9-game season, it doesn't leave you much time, and you're going to have to do some serious reevaluating.
Well, it's like anything else. It's kill the messenger or get rid of the manager, not the players. When you really look at it, this team is not winning because up front, they just don't have enough to protect the passer when they play an extremely quick team like Penn. So what do? You can't replace the whole offensive line unless you go out on the avenue, on Columbia Avenue, and see if you can find 10 big people. So what do? Well, maybe the idea is to put the quarterback in that can throw the football, although if he doesn't have much mobility, it's going to be worse for him. But again, Columbia doesn't have to play a team like Penn each week either. I mean, this might be the quickest, strongest, but especially the quickest team in the Ivy League.
And we saw a very good Harvard team. We saw a very good Princeton team.
Yeah, we did, but I'll tell you something. Of the defenses we've seen so far, we saw Harvard early. It was their first game. I think this is the best defense. This is one of the most aggressive.
This is the best all-around that we have seen
This
so
is
far.
one of the most aggressive defenses I've seen the last 2 or 3 years in Eastern college football. We're talking about the Ivy League and the way they play, but it's awful tough to play against this club.
2nd down and 2 for Columbia at the 6-yard line of Penn. Wanting to score desperately, trailing 35-0. Gonzalez tries to stutter step up the middle, gets it to the 3-yard line. He just gang tackled down by the interior of the Penn line. The linebacking core.
Well, I'd like to see Columbia score. Because I will say that not one time in this game, even though Penn dominated practically the whole game, did you feel that Columbia was quitting, throwing the towel in. They're really outmatched. I'd like to see them score here.
Nelson Thompson just checks in defensively for Penn, number 92. First and goal to go from the 3 for Columbia. Gonzalez again, and is he hit? Bob Chismar is the one who put the initial hit on him, number 54. The last time Upton that Penn shut out Columbia.
Right from as you're talking about that, right from the power eye, as you can see, he's trying to hit outside, but there is no room there. So what's he doing? He goes back into the pile of flying monsters. His body's all over the place.
Everybody's a hitter, though. No matter what unit you are on this Pennsylvania football team, everybody's a hitter, and that's the kind of motivation and intensity that Jerry Berndt has brought to this Pennsylvania football program 4 years ago, now in his 4th season, and turned it around. And as I started to tell you, Penn, the last time that they shut out Columbia was in 1958.
So which way are you going? Do you want the shutout or you want Columbia to score?
I want to see Columbia score.
Okay.
I really do. I want to see Murphy throw past the uppercut.
Well, I don't think he's going to do that, but you know, Eastern College football has always been big, power.
But you won't get angry if he does, will you?
No, offensive linemen. But in this case, Penn has proved that you can play with very quick defensive linemen.
Well, the receivers are Francisconi, you have Milam, you have Uppercut, the tight end. Let's see where they go on the second and goal to go from the 2. Gonzalez sticks his nose down there close to the 1, but he's not in. Bob Chismar, they're making him look good. They keep running at him, and he keeps sticking him.
He might be best with maybe 1 or 2 plays left to fake it this time and take it himself. Option to run or throw.
Third and goal to go from the 1.
Come on,
there you see the clock winding down, 20 seconds. I think even the Penn students are a little excited now. They haven't been since the first quarter.
Run!
You called it, Upton. Pete Murphy.
Glad he heard me this time.
He heard you. He bootlegged it off the left side for the score.
Now the students are angry because they scored. Beautiful fake into the line. He's got the option to run or throw. Murph says, I don't trust anybody. I'm going in myself. There's really no way to stop that play down in the goal line. And we saw in the Penn game a crucial play near the end of the first half when Santos had the same option and hesitated and was lost because he was tackled on the 1-yard line.
Bill Flick attempting the first extra point of the afternoon for Columbia. And it is good. And so our score is Pennsylvania 35, Columbia 7, with only 9 seconds showing on the clock. Festive air here at the, how do we say this? The stadium with so much history, which is being renovated to the tune of $6 million. I would venture to say that when we come back in 2 years, when people come back, they will not believe what they see. It'll be so beautiful.
I think they'd like to see, though, the beautiful football team as much as the stadium. That's the feeling you get around this school, because for a long time they had won nothing. In fact, until Jerry Berndt came the last 2 years as co-champions, they hadn't won anything since '59.
But the success of this football program is going to put a great many people into this facility, as Berndt has completely turned it around. There is an enthusiasm in the city over this football team, which we ran across in the days that we have been here.
Well, some people think they can beat the Eagles.
Oh, you're not nice. I'll tell you about it. I got into a cab this morning. I asked, on the kickoff, they go for the onside kick, does Columbia. And this, with 5 seconds on the clock, it is stopped. And did Columbia get possession? Yes, they did.
They did.
They got possession. And Tom Johnston was the one who came up with the football.
I think the big question is, should they go for 2 or 1 if they score?
5 seconds on the clock. You go downtown, right?
Yeah.
And
Murph's going to put it up for grabs.
And he's going to throw to John Pennywell. Is that right?
I would think so. But who knows? They've got two tight ends in there. The only problem is that the Penn defense hasn't lined up to play, so they can't get the play off.
They're getting the word down on the sideline there with 5 seconds to go.
That's one thing that the Penn coaches believe in. Any timeouts, they bring the whole team over and give them instructions.
Well, you know, that's a new, you know, that rule is now 2 years old. You can bring the entire unit over to the sidelines, where prior to 2 seasons ago, you couldn't do that.
What do you think they said to the defense? All fall down?
Don't give up another score. Because that's what the first line defense said to the second line defense.
Let me see here. We have Pennywell out wide and Francis Coney the other side.
Pennywell is faster, right? Let's see what happens. 5 seconds to go. Pete Murphy. He's going for, no, wants to go short, and it's incomplete, and that's the end of the ball game as Pennsylvania completely dominates Columbia 35-7, and in the process picks up its 3rd win of the season without a loss. On the other hand, Columbia has played its 3rd game of the season without a win. And more importantly for the University of Pennsylvania, as they go after their 3rd straight Ivy League championship, their quest for it, they have picked up their 2nd Ivy League victory without a loss.
I think that we could be concise and short by saying that defense is the first thing on Jerry Burnt's mind as we take a look at Naso and Burnt here. And defense really dominated this game today. It made all the breaks early. It put them in a position to score from only 20 or 30 yards out. And really, in the end, that's the strength of Pennsylvania, their defense.
I believe you have hit that right on the head. I am in complete agreement with you, and I think there's something that a lot of people are missing also, Upton. But before we do, we want to go down to the sidelines and Sean McDonough.
Down here on the field with Coach Bob Naso of Columbia. Coach, obviously you're disappointed with the result of today's game. I know you thought you had a chance to win coming in. But did you see any bright spots today, despite the fact that it was a 35-7 score?
Well, it's hard to find any bright spots with a 35-7 score, but we really ran into a very, very good football team. That Penn football team is probably the best Ivy League team we've faced since I've been at Columbia. They do a lot of things awfully well.
You mentioned you thought Penn was perhaps better than Harvard then, since you have played Harvard. Coach Joe Ukiga of Dartmouth was quoted as saying he thought Harvard was a better team, but you feel Penn stronger than Harvard?
Well, on the basis of the 2 teams we've played on given days, this Penn team certainly performed real well.
Can we expect any whole-scale changes for your club now that you're 0-3? You're going to make some changes? I know Murphy did a nice job when he came in for you.
Well, Peter did a good job. I thought Santos did a reasonably good job in the first half, but he didn't get much help. We're not at the point where we're going to panic. We still think we have some decent tools, and we'll put it together, and we'll be competitive.
Coach, thanks very much for stopping by, and we'll see you later on in the season, we hope. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Coach Bob Naso. We're going to be back in just a minute to talk with Penn coach Jerry Burnt, but for now, let's go back upstairs.
You know, Upton, I have to tip my hat to that man, and you do too. I mean,
well, I don't wear a hat. But
well, that man handled himself very well after just taking a pasting 35-7 and on television, national television. And there's the man now that just absolutely has to be absolutely delighted. We'll go back down to Sean McDonough.
Thank you, Dick. Here's winning coach Jerry Burnt. Jerry, he had it pretty easy today. I know coming in, we spoke yesterday, he expected a tough game from Columbia, and I guess that means you got quite a tough wagon.
Well, I think our kids came out ready to play today. We were very emotional and very intense and inspired, and I think people saw the real Penn Quakers out there today. We really took the game to Columbia, I think both offensively and defensively. We were very pleased with our performance, and it was great to see a lot of our younger kids in at the end of the game also.
Individually, some of the outstanding performances today. First of all, I thought you got a great performance from Tim Chambers returning some punts that really put you in great field position.
He is a super player. He's was second in the nation last week in punt return. He certainly didn't hurt himself any today, and he's a big play player for us. You know, we have a number of those. John McGeehan is, a number of our receivers are, and our tailback. So it was we said going in it was going to be a team effort, offense, defense, and special teams. I think we got that out of him today.
I want you to talk a little bit about John McGeehan. I know I've been told from the people who watch Penn football closely that he's been improving markedly year to year, and I think it showed today. He's got a great deal of poise.
He's super poise. He came in last year with a little bit unsure of himself, but he led us to an Ivy championship, and he's very confident this year and very sure, throwing the ball very well, running our option very well, getting us in and out of the huddle very sharply, and he's the key to our offense.
Coach, almost a textbook performance today by your club. Are there any areas you think you can improve?
Well, I have to look at the films to see that now.
And I know you have Brown next week, and you probably haven't had much of a chance to see film on them, but do you know anything about their club?
Well, I think Brown is that typical Brown team, big and strong and very aggressive, and we'll spend a lot of time tomorrow looking at them.
Very good. Jerry Byrne, congratulations, and we'll see you later on down the road.
Thank you. It's great to have you people here today.
Well, we're glad to be here. That's Jerry Byrne, the winning coach of the Penn Quakers. Now let's go back upstairs.
And probably one of the most positive men that we have met in a long time.
Well, almost 35 to 7 worth, and here are the final stats. Look at them.
Just look at the domination. Rushing yardage, Penn 254 yards and Columbia only 63. And passing yardage, although Columbia did outpass Pennsylvania 224 to 146, but they've only managed to put up one score on the board, and that was not from passing, that was from Murphy bootlegging in.
Well, I think that Coach Naso really put it in perspective when he talked about it. You and I talked about Harvard versus Penn. I'd have to figure that the Penn, from what we've seen so far, is the strongest team I've seen in this league. And I think that they are the strongest because of their defense. I just would say right now, if they and Harvard met, I'd have to favor Penn.
I would have to say so based on what we have seen, and we also have to go on the assumption that these teams, as we know them in the Ivy League, because of the lack of spring practice, that each week from the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth really improve with each passing week. And so the strong get stronger.
That's why I think they can beat Nebraska. Give them a couple of more weeks, and they'll be set for it.
Are we flying out there to do that? What?
Why not?
And down on the sidelines, Sean McDonough has a young man who really performed so well here.
Indeed, John McGeehan did perform very well today. Dick, John, kind of an early afternoon for you. You got your club out in front, and then were able to take it easy. How was the view from the sidelines?
It's kind of fun, I guess. I guess you'd always like to play the whole game, but, you know, it's nice to get on the sidelines and relax. You know you're winning by a lot when you do that, so I had a good time today.
We chatted on the sidelines yesterday, and you said you expected a tough struggle from Columbia. They really didn't put up much of a struggle, but did they do anything defensively that surprised you?
No. As I said yesterday, you know, they did some things different from last year, although everything they did this year we had prepared for last week. And our offense just came together today. We didn't make too many mistakes, and when we do that, I don't think there's too many teams that can stop us. So, you know, it's not so much Columbia as it was us today.
We spoke with Coach Byrne a moment ago, and he pointed out how much you have improved year to year. Tell us about your career here at Penn, and has it been a marked improvement, a steady improvement?
Yeah. I came in freshman year, and I split time with a couple of the other freshman quarterbacks, and then sophomore year I didn't get a chance to play too much behind Gary Vura, and I guess that was, you know, a learning year, and I think it really helped. You know, I came back last year, and I played well, but not as well as I could. I still had, you know, some confusion about our offense. You know, we had touched on it yesterday about how confusing our offense was and how complex it was. And this year, I think I'm beginning to learn exactly not only what we're doing, but why we're doing it. And I think that's helped me out a lot. I understand the way we're attacking people, and it's just getting a lot more comfortable for me to run the offense.
You guys rolled over Dartmouth. You rolled over Columbia here today. Any fear of getting complacent?
No, I don't think there's any at all. I talked about that to you yesterday. We had quite a scare last week from Davidson, and as I said, we didn't play perfect today. We still made some mistakes, and I don't think we're going to be complacent at all. I think we're looking forward to Brown.
All right, John. Good luck against Brown in the rest of the season. Thanks very much. We're going to come back and talk with Tim Chambers in just a moment, but for now, let's go back up to the booth.
And, you know, John McGeehan, the young man that Sean was just talking about, finished the day with 14 pass attempts, 9 completions, 119 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. And this is the way the scoring went on the day when Steve Ortman, who wears number 32, just hurtled into the end zone, and that came at the 8-minute mark of the first quarter. Pennsylvania was out in front. 7-0.
Just like O.J. Simpson, and he perfected that jump all day long, and they had different scoring plays, but a lot of them were down in close, Dick. You know,
they dominated, they punched, they took up time off the clock as they pursued their drives, and in each case, in the early going in particular.
Well, they got a lot of help from that offensive line, and Comizio, I believe that we're going to see next on a 5-yard run. The way that they moved the ball and the way that they were able to totally dominate them, then everything was short. Everything was easy down there.
One thing the opposing coaches are going to get gray over, if they aren't already, when you're looking at the Pennsylvania films, forget the fact that they completely dominated a Columbia football team this afternoon, but they are deep in the backfield. They are deep in the backfield, and here's one of the reasons why. Number 42 is Rich Comizio. All the tools of carrying the football.
Here he is again, close in. They've pulled both guards the opposite way, and he comes in behind the guards.
You know, this young man passed up Georgia and Alabama to attend the University of Pennsylvania.
Well, I don't blame him.
I mean, full ride offers, so I don't blame him either. But he is going to be what Jerry Burnt thinks will be one of their outstanding running backs at Penn in their illustrious history.
Yeah, well, but their big help, as you see the players coming off the field now, everybody goes around and shakes hands in the Ivy League with each other and their team. The big thing that helps them, all the running backs that they have, is the offensive line. All right, here we go to the highlights. Here we have highlights 28-0. This makes it.
And we're going to be looking at the one young man, Mr. Ortman, 32, who rolls out. And as McGeehan flips it out there, and a one-hand grab by Ortman, and that made it 28-0, Pennsylvania out in front.
Here comes the quarterback faking again. This was a beautiful fake, and he's going to hit Hennigan in the top part of the ends, in the back of the end zone. Watch the way he just drops it over the two defensive backs. Fine throw, fine fake, fine roll by the quarterback. And now, there is the final score, 35-7. Again, it was kind of a runaway, and I guess Sean McDonough's down on the field and has one of the other stars of this game.
Tim Chambers, first of all, let's talk about your punt returning today. 2 punt returns that put your club in great position. Takes a lot of courage and kind of a special breed of football player to stand back there and return those punts.
Well, I think, first of all, I have to give credit to the guys, the 10 other guys that were on the field at the time. We've been working on punt returns this year, mainly as an offensive threat rather than just another phase of the game where the offense is going to get the ball. The 10 guys that are on the field are 10 guys that made the varsity squad, especially on special teams alone. Right. So we've been working on it, and I had some very nice blocks, and basically all I did was catch the ball, and the holes were there. So I got upfield, and I think the only thing I got to work on is that last move, getting on the sidelines.
We were joking about that. Twice Murphy took you down and prevented you from scoring touchdowns. As your role as a defensive halfback, you guys really shut down Danny Uppercoat today.
Yeah, I think that's a credit to Ross Armstrong and Kevin Bradley and some of the other guys underneath. We double-teamed him a lot today. We had underneath coverage with one of the linebackers and behind coverage with Ross Armstrong, and I really don't think that he expected that. So their quarterback was looking for him as their main target, and most of the time he wasn't open.
Tim, you guys are 2-0 in the Ivy League, haven't really been tested. Brown next week, do you know anything about them?
No, we haven't seen any film on them, and as is the case, you take one game at a time, and we're looking forward to it. I heard today that they beat Princeton, so I'm sure it's going to be a dogfight as usual.
We saw Princeton last week, and they're a tough club. Tim, congratulations. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
That's Tim Chambers, one of the stars of the game, one of many stars of the game for Penn. While we have a moment, let's update you on some scores in the Ivy League. Bucknell over Cornell, 10-7. We have that as a fourth quarter score. Auburn beat Mississippi by the score of 17-13. Penn State nipped Maryland 25-24. It was a 17 now to 10, we are told, East Carolina over Pitt. And we'll give you more scores in just a moment, but first let's go back upstairs.
Well, that's our final here at Franklin Field. Penn dominating Columbia 35-7. But you know, a couple of weeks ago, our producer Greg Harney had a real pleasant conversation with John Reardon, the athletic director at Harvard, about the recent court decision involving the NCAA.
Jack Reardon, specifically, how will the Supreme Court decision concerning antitrust action, which kind of limited the powers of the NCAA, affect Harvard?
I don't think that it'll have a great effect on Harvard. My feeling is that, of course, we may lose some money. In recent years, Harvard or someone in the Ivy League has been on television under the NCAA contract at least once a year and often twice. That money gets shared within the league, so probably in an average year, each college in the league got at least $100,000 with someone being on television. That kind of income is probably going to be reduced because I think that the networks are not apt to come and want to put Ivy League games on television because they don't think that there'll be enough national interest. As a result, we've come to an agreement with you people in what we think is an exciting idea in terms of a game of the week. I think that in terms of regional exposure, things of that sort, we're going to do maybe better than we did when we were dealing with a regional network telecast. So I think overall the impact on Harvard, the impact on the Ivy League is not too important. I think there are sort of other issues if you want to talk about them.
What are they?
Well, I think that clearly if you look at sports as being part of the educational process, and that's the Ivy League really does that, and we have big sports programs that are not paid for by revenues from gates and football or basketball, but the universities are willing to pay the cost of the programs, whatever isn't taken in by revenues. That's one way to look at a sports program, and I think that many colleges across the country, though, are operating as businesses, and I think that the Supreme Court decision supports a big business direction for those top football colleges. They're apt to get most of the television money, and it means that a lot of other colleges that would, under the old contract, have some exposure on television and also get some reasonable share of the income that's made available won't get it at all. So I think it helps those schools that are most apt to look at sports as a business, and I think that's not a good thing. I think that sports has gone crazy in this society, and I think that the Supreme Court decision will reinforce a very bad direction. I think that a number of colleges, in fact, that get on television aren't too happy either, because so many colleges are on TV that the amount of money available to anyone is reduced, because the people who advertise feel that with so many games on, it's a diluted product and they won't pay as much.
Well, we certainly want to remind our listeners out there, our viewers, that next week the Ivy League Game of the Week might include, we have Penn at Brown, Princeton at Columbia, Cornell is at Harvard, Dartmouth is at Yale. Those are the attractions next week. And if I'm just going to pick out of the top of my head here, Upton, I'm kind of leaning toward Dartmouth at Yale.
Well, you're just doing that because you love Yale. No, I'm only kidding. You know, it could be a good game, and I'm sure, Dick, that you'll be sending in all the plays early for that Yale team. They turn around and finally won one today. I'm very interested in Dartmouth. I spoke to them last week. I know Joe Ukika. I knew that this Penn score wasn't indicative of what his team could do. I think that's more indicative of the way they're playing against Holy Cross today. They're behind now as it is, but I think coming into the Yale Bowl, it ought to be terrific. In fact, maybe they'll even dedicate the game to me, or maybe to you.
Well, there you go. But the other part of that is that it's a great rivalry to begin with, and records really don't mean anything in that series between Dartmouth and Yale. But right back here at Franklin Field, down on the sidelines, is our sideline pal, Sean McDonough, with a buddy of yours.
Down here with a good friend of Upton Bell's, Jim Tuppeny. Jim is the Associate Director of Athletics here at Penn. Good day for your club, and you were involved for many years with the track program here at Penn as the track coach, and the Penn Relays. You're the director of the Penn Relays. Tell us about the Penn Relays for people who might not know about it.
Well, the Penn Relays are the oldest track and field meet in the world. It's the largest athletic event in the world. We have maybe 20 to 25,000 competitors. And we started relay racing, every different event, from the 4x1 to the 4x4 mile relay. And every year we have thousands of boys and girls come here. The Penn Relays are more Olympic than the Olympics in important thing is that people enjoy competing in the Penn relays.
You're also in charge of the facilities. We were out here at Franklin Field yesterday watching practice. I am amazed at the plethora of activity that goes on in this facility.
Yes, we have really intensive use of Franklin Field. We go from about 7 in the morning to midnight. We have the ROTCs, and we have women's soccer and field hockey and lacrosse going, and men's soccer, and 3 different football teams, and of course track and field, and intramurals is a big part of the university activities.
You worked very closely as an assistant coach under Jumbo Elliott over at Villanova. What was he like?
Jumbo Elliott was #1 coach in America. Jumbo was a real fundamentalist. He believed in hard work and just basic fundamentals. He did a super job.
I understand once upon a time you also coached a youngster named Upton Bell. What was he like to coach?
Well, Upton was pretty good several pounds ago, and even though his father was a great football man, Upton was a great sprinter, you know. Of course, nowadays he runs too long in one place, but outside that, Upton was a great athlete.
Well, you were a great coach in your own right, and you are a credit to Penn and all of your work here over the years. We appreciate you taking the time out to speak with us. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Sean.
Jim Tuppeny, for many years, the track coach here at Penn, and more importantly, a good friend of Upton Bell's. Let's go back to Dick and Uppy.
Gee, that's terrific, because I don't have that many friends.
And now we'll take a look at some more scores. Brown in the third period out in front of Princeton handily now, 32-17. They're really putting it out. Bucknell out in front. No, that's a final now over Cornell, 10-7. 27-20 in the fourth quarter. Holy Cross over Dartmouth, but Dartmouth battling back.
Dartmouth has come back in this game.
And in the Harvard-Army game in the third period, Army out in front of Harvard, 23-3. Cannot get on the scoreboard, Harvard,
that's
today
gonna be
against
awful
the Cadets.
tough. You see what Yale's done. No tripping of coaches in this game. Fourth quarter, 41-0. But that Army-Harvard. Harvard's had really 2 tough weeks, Dick, and playing 2 tough teams, Holy Cross and Army. Some people think Army might be as good a team as there is in this part of the country.
In the East, after what they did at Tennessee and then tying them and then coming back to beat Duke the very following week. You know, I want to thank a lot of people, Upton, that are responsible for helping us on this telecast of the University of Pennsylvania-Columbia football game. Our special thanks, of course, go to Coach Bob Naso and at Columbia, and Al Paul, the director, and Bill Steinman from Columbia University. Then right here at Penn, of course, we have Herb Hartnett, Carolyn Schlee, and Coach Jerry Burnt, Jim Tuppeny, the SID at Penn. Our spotters are Joe Gallagher and Mary Ormsby. And our helpers on the field, of course, Brian Katz today, and Mel Feldman, and Victor Castro, and Ellen Campbell, and our statistician assistant, I don't want to forget, Dave Evangelista. And we want to say thank you, because without them, we can't do the job we want to do. And once more, we will go down on the sidelines to Sean McDonough.
Some scores from around the nation. We have a final score. Auburn beat Mississippi 17-13. In the fourth quarter, Penn State leads Maryland 25-24. That's in the final seconds. Want to correct a final I gave you earlier. It was Pitt getting their first win of the season over East Carolina 17-10. Another final, North Carolina State 27 and Georgia Tech 22. Missouri beat Colorado 52-7. Texas Tech 23 and Texas A&M 12. That's all the scores we have time for. Back to the booth.
And Dick Galliette for Upton Bell and Sean McDonough saying, good afternoon, everybody, from Franklin Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Ivy League football is brought to you by The Travelers, people responsive to people with insurance and financial service needs. The Travelers, where fairness is good business. GTE, the company whose products include both microwave and satellite communication systems around the world.
The producer of Ivy League football is Greg Harney. Director, Ralph Mollet. Coordinating producer, Gil Kerr. Associate producer, Pauline McCants. Engineering supervisor, Gordon Melvin. This program was produced by Greg Harney Productions, Incorporated. In association with Trans World International. This is the Eastern Educational Network.
Tomorrow night, nature travels to the Arabian Gulf, where the